is how big an issue is obesity?
I think obesity is going to be one of the biggest killers in our society. There will be more sick people in our country. So we'll be the youngest population, but we'll be the sickest population because we are not.
The man I'm meeting today has spent over 20 years on a mission to change the way India eats. He's two-time master's degree holder, pioneer of Nutritionists, and the go-to nutritionist for Virat Kohli, Amir Khan, Rohit Sharma, Yuvraj Singh, and over 6,000 athletes and celebrities.
One of the measurements for preventing cancer is having a lower body weight, because higher body weight means you are eating too much, which means there's inflammation in the body, which means you can go towards cancer.
Do you think now with the advent of technology and AI, it will reduce the reliance on experts just overall? Or do you think there's still hand-holding required?
AI is ready for the world. Are humans ready for AI? And that is where I believe now I am reinvesting back in my clinical business.
Do you think things like yoga, Ayurveda, they should be completely dissociated from religion and actually be a heritage that we're all proud of?
One tone that vibrates the vagus nerve there's this molecule from strawberries. Apparently this molecule helps reverse the graying of hair. We are eating excess calories, and research is showing that if you want to age better, the new luxury in my opinion is actually good health. I want to say something very controversial here. I'm a Christian.
तो क्या हुआ जो गिरे, तो क्या हुआ जो थमे, चल उठ जा रे तगड़े जरा, झाड़ के ये कपड़े, दर्द रोके ना हमें, अब सब कमाल है, जिंदगी मेरा तुझसे एक सवाल है, क्या हाल चाल है, क्या हाल चाल है. क्या हाल चाल है, क्या हाल चाल है.
Hello everyone, welcome to Haal Chaal Aur Sawaal, a show where we uncover the secrets of health and fitness. And today we're at Qua Nutrition, where diet meets science.
Hi,
Ryan,
good to see you.
good to see you too,
After
buddy.
so long.
I know. How
Come.
are you? Ryan, is so fantastic to be here. I really am very excited and grateful. Thank you very much for sparing your time.
Kya grateful hai bhai. Having a conversation with you is like going back to the old days at National Cricket Academy.
Yeah, but still, I know how busy you are, and I know how much work you've taken upon yourself. So yeah, it's very nice. So, क्या हाल चाल है, Ryan Fernando?
बहुत अच्छा है. Life is very, very busy, getting younger every day, trying to motivate people to take care of their health.
Yeah.
Olden days was sports nutrition, win an Olympic medal. Now it's about how can I be younger in the Olympics of age.
Yeah.
So those
So true. Yeah, very well said. Yeah, absolutely. The Olympics of age, and I guess for everybody, whether you're an athlete, non-athlete, regular person, that age, let's not call it age reversal, gets a bit controversial, but it is slowing things down, like you were saying before the podcast, right?
if you remember, like most of the athletes that come to us
Yeah.
and used to send them to me for nutrition,
Yeah.
most of them used to be 30, 32 plus.
Correct.
And they're getting towards their twilight years.
Correct.
How can I make this vehicle
Correct.
play longer?
Correct.
Like an average cricketer will sign up for 20 crores a year.
Correct.
So is his body worth 20 crores? And then you take that to a 40-year-old Aam Aadmi
Correct.
who runs his business,
Correct.
or a 60-year-old colonel,
Correct.
or even a 55-year-old housewife.
Correct.
The new luxury, in my opinion, is actually good health. It's something money can't buy. Every other luxury you can buy. So arresting the progression of all-cause mortality, diseases like hypertension, sugar, blood pressure, all of these attacking your body and making you die a decade or two younger.
Correct.
Nobody sees it. but we know stats are getting you there.
Or even worse, a slow death where you are relying on medications, help,
And I
which
think
is
that
even worse, right?
I think that's something that the world has become very lazy about. Like my dad one day said to me, "My diabetes is under control." I'm like, "Papa, your diabetes is not under control. You are taking medicine. Medicine is controlling your diabetes."
Correct.
So recently, I actually changed his diet because he has to undergo prostate surgery.
Right.
A man who has had HbA1c at 8.9, 9.9, never listening to his nutritionist son, Jabardasti, I said, "You're going to follow what I'm telling you." He came to Bangalore for 2 weeks. I hijacked the fridge. I told my servant, "You feed him one food that he wants, you lose your job." That's it.
Right.
We put beans, we put salad, we put everything. I took out rice, I took out roti. He's like, "How can I live without rice and roti?" I said, "You're not going to die. You got 25 kgs of body fat in you."
Right.
At the end of 15 days, body fat came down by 2 kgs. HbA1c dropped to 7.7
In 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks. Today, which is about 6 months later, he's at 5.9. His doctor has removed one more medication. He's 79 years of age. My point, Ashish, is that people rely on medicines because the mind is not aware or the body and mind is very lazy.
Correct.
So we have to help people understand that few things that they need to do in the form of nutrition, in the form of sleep, in the form of exercise.
Correct.
These three variables. And people think you have to train like Virat Kohli to get age reversal and all. You don't need to. Small turn-ups every day, sum total. Do it consistently over 365 days.
Consistency is the key, right? That's what
Just
I
turn
try
up.
to- Yeah. Rock up. Correct.
I think you said that to me once. You're like, I was like, "Doc, you need to rehab my knee and all. How many hours of rehab I should do?" You just said turn up every day. That's all you do.
Correct. That's all. There is so much help. There is so much expertise. There is so much experience, understanding, science behind so many things now that you just need to sign up for stuff. Like if someone signed up to you or Qua Nutrition, they're pretty much taken care of, right? Then that's all they need to do.
I think, Ashish, what happens is, and recently I've signed up for music classes.
Right.
I know the keys. I played when I was very young. I've forgotten. But the reason I signed up with a music instructor is because somebody will turn up. Therefore, I have to turn up.
Correct.
And I've spent money,
Correct.
right?
It's a contract. It's a commitment.
It's a contract. It's a commitment. When you say, "I'll go to the gym," and nobody's there in the gym, you tell yourself, "Kal jayega."
Correct. Very true.
Even with food, for example, I've actually seen people that cater their meals or have a chef that produces only what's in a nutrition plan. They will eat that. But if there's no plan in place or there's no catering of that food, then people just pick up the phone and order what they want to tell their housekeeping. Ye bana lo. Kuch bhi bana lo.
Correct. Correct.
That kuch bhi na is that axe on top of your head.
No, is the biggest, and I've seen this happen in a lot of friends around me. So the biggest, one of the, not the biggest stress, but one of the stresses of a day to day life is lunch में क्या बनाया यार, और lunch आते हैं dinner में क्या बनाया यार, and you really wish, sometimes you had a plan which you could just stick on the fridge, forget about it, and say, look, Tuesday morning, this is what I'm supposed to
I'll
have.
share a secret with you. All the sports athletes that come to us between the age of 10 and 18 years of age, in the first month, the mothers go berserk. Because now we're telling the mothers or the mothers instructing their housekeeping what to cook. They've had many cooks leave because they're like, "I can't follow this plan." Because they were doing jugards and shortcuts. Right? But the moment the first month goes past in a sports nutrition plan, I can tell you for a guarantee, every mother is the happiest on the planet. आज क्या बनाने का? कुछ नहीं. Chart देखो. Ryan साहब ने भेजा. You follow it. Next person is the other kid falls in line. The mother falls in line. Father has to eat whatever the family's been preparing. And the side effect of all of that, a sports nutrition plan for a kid, the parents start losing fat percentage.
So I was actually going to, good thing that we're now getting into this conversation, because one of the questions that I had for you is how big an issue is obesity?
I think obesity is going to be one of the biggest killers in our society. And
and where are we now with obesity as a problem?
It's massive. They're saying one in 4 people in India are obese. Now,
In India?
Yes. Now, what is obese? Obese is when your BMI is over 24.6.
Explain BMI.
It is basically your height and your weight. Today, if you go to build a house, you have one plot of land.
Correct.
They will say, Ashish, you can build only 3 floors.
Right.
Right? So in India, height is fixed because all of us grow to a certain level. But what happens, Ashish, if you keep eating, you expand sideways.
Ah.
So unlike a plot which can't expand sideways, BMI, you can expand sideways. The higher the reading of BMI, the more is the risk element. Now, a lot of people will say,
So it's basically height to weight ratio.
correct. And there's a certain calculation. All you do is go to Google, say BMI calculator, BMI calculator. Put in your height, put in your weight. It will tell you BMI. It will tell you whether you're obese, morbidly obese, or borderline. Now, the thing is, India, we have this thing कि अगर मैं थोड़ा healthy looking, right? Healthy looking,
Correct.
then I have no disease. But everyone's dropping dead of heart attacks and fatty liver.
Even healthy looking people are falling, boss.
And the point is they're not going deeper than BMI, which is body fat percentage. So you have two things. You have fat under the skin and fat around the organs, known as visceral fat. You know the Japanese have a law where they're not allowed to be fat. So basically, if you go to Japan, they start health screening at the age of 22 because they were scared of the 2 nuclear bombs that are dropped, so people will have cancer. So they started screening very early. One of the measurements for preventing cancer is having a lower body weight, because higher body weight means you are eating too much, which means there's inflammation in the body, which means you can go towards cancer. So
as simple as that, huh?
As simple as screening in earlier years. So here's the problem. In India, we don't do blood tests, we don't do screening. Then suddenly you can clutch your heart, or kuch dard hota hai, doctor ke paas jate hai, they will write some medicine, they'll try and do some tests and all. Then you'll be like, no, I don't want to see the doctor because I'm very scared about this. But what if you could just understand what is a healthy weight? A healthy weight first can be started with the BMI. Please be below 25.
So is it possible for, and I'm acting like a novice, I understand, I just want you as an expert to be explaining things because that will be so much. So let me, continue my act of a novice, and because I really want people to understand what it is that an expert, the way an expert explains it for so BMI understood, samajh aa gaya. Now, is it possible for someone to be looking skinny or fit or healthy, but for them to actually have visceral fat inside?
Absolutely. We call that skinny fat. So visceral fat is a fat that sits on top of the kidneys, the liver, the lungs, the heart, the gallbladder. So you can't see this.
Right.
But in India, we can see it in our genetics where we get the paunch. Okay. So as the paunch starts coming out and out, the jo belly jo bahar aa raha hai, once that starts coming out, you know, why is it coming out? Your stomach doesn't grow. Your heart doesn't grow. Your kidney doesn't grow. क्या ग्रो कर रहे हैं भाई? इसके अंदर मसल नहीं है. हाँ, ठीक है, there is some obliques and there is a muscle and all. But which Indian has a paunch with 6-pack?
Correct.
Right? So what is growing is the fat. Where does this fat come from, Dr. Ashish? This comes from overeating or genetics. But let me tell you, in today's day and age, your starting question is obesity a danger? There will be more sick people in our country. So we'll be the youngest population. We'll be the largest population. But we'll be the sickest population because we are not taking care of our health, because there is no awareness on people of what is a healthy body weight, what is visceral fat, can I measure it? Like, for example, the other day I went to a doctor for my health checkup. So before I went in, I went to my general GP. I said, what should I be looking for? He said, yeah, you just go then. And he's checked my weight. But he had a very simple weighing scale. He should have a weighing scale that measures my percentage of body fat.
Correct.
It's like saying you go and do a blood test, आप सिर्फ CBC करवा दो. CBC is not going to tell you about your blood urea. It's not going to tell you about liver enzymes. It's not going to tell you about serum creatinine. It's not going to tell you about other markers.
Correct.
So sometimes I think, and especially in India, you have all the gadgets, you have all the awareness, you have all the access to technology. Start becoming aware that you can measure your own body fat percentage in Garka weighing scale. For 4,000 rupees, Dr. Ashish, you get a weighing scale which gives you all the parameters, number one. But number two,
what are these parameters that you're looking for?
The parameters is, one is you'll enter in your height and you'll enter in your body age, okay, into that weighing scale, and gender, male, female. Now, once you enter that in, the weighing scale will use a bioimpedance, which is like an electrical impulse.
Yes.
The fat will say, "Bhai, मैं electricity conduct नहीं करेगा." So it will give you a statistical measure of approximately how much of muscle, how much of water, how much of fat, and if it's a good scale, may even give you bone mass. Now people will say, "Bhai, ये तो accurate नहीं है." But let me tell you something. When I make a coffee for you, you look at it. You'll say, "ठीक है?" नहीं. You'll taste it. Getting a fat percentage and getting a muscle percentage is like tasting your weight. कि भाई मेरे पास कितना fat है और कितना muscle है. This is a game changer for any person.
Highly recommended.
Start at the age of 18.
Really?
Age of 18. Both boys and girls start checking your fat percent because
How often?
I would say every 15 days because we all eat outside. Now why we eat outside? Convenience, paisa hai, maza karne ka hai, susti, discover this, that, all of that stuff, right?
Socializing, yeah.
Socializing.
It's a part of our lifestyle.
If you remember when you and I studied in college, we got pocket money to eat out once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month. And if I could save that once a month, it was like, wow.
Correct.
My father took us out only on birthdays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today, every day is a birthday.
Correct.
Like, kahan se order? You and I had lunch from outside.
Yeah,
Today.
correct.
We didn't want to tell our housekeepings or wives to pack the dabba and get it and all. So, coming back to the point, if you check the weight every 15 days, so if your coffee is not good, you say, bhai, thoda strong chahiye, thoda chini chahiye, mere ko stevia chahiye. You'll construct it better for your liking. If you know that your fat percentage has gone up in the last 15 days, what will you do, Ashish?
You'll mend your ways. You'll
not eat out for 2 nights.
Correct.
Thoda fasting karega.
Correct.
Aaj Janmashtami hai. So today I will not eat anything.
Right.
I'll do water fast.
Correct.
I'll do some fruit fast. I'll miss 2 meals today.
Right.
We've forgotten all of that.
Yeah.
So data will help you first align in the younger years. Once you start coming into 25 to 30, on top of the weighing scale, add a blood test.
Acha.
Add all the vitamins and minerals. Magnesium, iron, the nutrition part of blood test. You see, when you go to the doctor asks you for the CBC and the liver and the kidney profile.
Correct.
But this vitamin and mineral profile for me as a nutritionist actually tells ki how is your diet? Because if you're eating out, if you're eating less, if you're eating in a wrong place, you're eating in a PG, you're eating at work every day, and that caterer is preparing the most substandard food. Samajh lijiye, you and I open a restaurant. And I want a organic omelette.
Right.
The price of that omelette is going to be 350 rupees.
Right.
Who will buy a 350 rupees omelette?
Correct.
So you and I say, boss, let us make the sabse sasta wala anda.
Correct.
So you will not buy free range egg,
Correct.
which has more beta carotene, more omega 3, more magnesium, more phosphatidylcholine in it.
Correct.
You'll buy that hen which is reared in poultry farms, which doesn't have the right micronutrition.
Correct.
So whatever produce I'm getting is very poor in nutrition. So weeks, months, quarters, years of eating that bad nutrition, my blood chemistry is going to show it.
Right.
Ashish, there are people who have come to me 1 foot in the deathbed at a young age. And just 16 weeks, 4 months of diet plan, and we have completely rejuvenated them. So I remember when I did Amir Khan's Dangal role, you go and get a 6-pack within about 3 months. It's possible because there's a certain sports science behind it. What is the sports science? I want data. How fast is the ball coming at me?
Correct.
What angle is it coming at?
Correct.
That's data. What's your weight? What's your fat percentage? What's your blood chemistry? What's your DNA testing? What's your microbiome testing? What's your functional medicine testing? All of this data comes to the specialist. Now the specialist is doing your dal chawal roti in a very scientific way. And the best part is, Ashish, is that nowadays, when the clients have this weighing scale and their own blood test, and if they do like a genetic test and a microbiome test, they no longer say it's a Ryan Fernando diet. It's my own personalized diet. So personalization, in my opinion, is the new luxury.
And do you think now with the advent of technology and AI, do you think it will reduce the reliance on experts just overall, not just you, me, doctors, or do you think there's still hand-holding required?
I'll make this prediction on your show today.
Okay.
I launched the world's first AI diet planning app in January 2025. 30,000 people downloaded it. 27,000 people filled in a detailed form which would have taken you 45 minutes. I gave away the first week of diet plan free of cost, generated by this AI, which read through nearly 100,000 of my past diet charts of 2 decades of experience, machine training.
Right.
So it started working brilliantly. Yeah, there were bugs and everything. So AI is not yet there, but it will get there.
Well, yeah.
315 people only downloaded the free diet chart.
It-
AI is ready for the world. Are humans ready for AI? And that is where I believe now I am reinvesting back in my clinical business.
Right.
I'm building more clinics, hiring more dietitians, because you want to interact with an expert.
Correct.
The expert needs to be layered with technology. The doctor will have the AI technology. The nutritionist will have the AI technology. The physiotherapist will have the AI technology. The technology will help them deliver a much better quality of service,
Correct.
seamless service.
Correct.
If there's any lacuna in the service, it gets upgraded because standardize it.
Correct.
So I genuinely believe that AI is here to change the world. And people are also going to be smart in saying that I checked this out and AI told me this.
Yes.
So then the brands like you and me will have to say, well, my AI is also saying the same thing.
Yeah.
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 And then people want to come and talk to you.
Correct.
Or want to avail of that services. There is only about 5% of the population that I believe is truly technologically savvy, that they don't want human interaction. In your class and my class, there's always been those kids who never wanted to have conversation with anyone.
Correct.
5%.
Social preference. So you're talking about social
It's
preference.
a social preference. I don't think people like you and me will have an issue. Yes, I do know that my job will be redundant, but that was my thought before I launched AI. After I launched AI, I realized it is human arrogance to believe that you are a genius. But it is humility to believe that you can use technology to make genius effect reach your patient.
Correct. And that's the only way you can scale health in a standardized manner, right? Because and that's where I think it plays a huge role. It has the potential.
Not
to
only
play a huge role.
scaling, Dr. Ashish, but democratizing it.
Correct.
So let's imagine somebody can't afford Ryan Fernando's diet plan services, which is very expensive. But he has the ability to pay 3,000 rupees and get the same through technology. Actually, you don't even need to pay 3,000 rupees. Today, if you go to any AI app available and feed in sufficient data, short of a novice dietitian, I would sign off on the diet chart saying it's pretty much accurate.
Really?
What's the problem? Human laziness. Because once you have the plan, who's there to motivate you on it? They are saying that AI.
Who are you reporting to? Who's the contract with? Again, like you.
Yeah,
you know?
and I remember having my first open book exam in Scotland when I studied. And as an Indian, I was never used to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're super excited. Open book exam. I'm going to ace this. When I finished the exam, I was highly disappointed. I loved the fact that I never had access to a book. I had to use my brain. I had to write it. It was very nostalgic.
Correct.
It was also extremely gratifying when I was able to pencil down
Correct.
from what I had learned.
Correct.
And a lot of that remained.
Correct.
The open book exams, a lot of it doesn't remain. So at the end of the day, I think human nature will be that, oh, this is AI now. I don't have to report anything to AI.
The value of it to some extent.
But if I
of course,
meet Dr. Ashish and I'm rehabbing my ACL, and bloody if I didn't do my quadricep extension or my foam rolling, when I meet him, I'm very sheepish, like he's this cool principal, right?
Yeah.
And that's what people need.
Correct.
And that's what people, I have realized, also want. So post-pandemic, I thought people would shift a lot to Zoom. But Dr. Ashish, I have people flying in from California to meet you,
Yes.
to meet me. So I'm like, so you came down for Google Meet or something? No, I came down to meet you. I'm like, you took a flight across the Atlantic just to meet me? He says, yeah. Because if I meet you, now I sink it in my head
Correct.
that this is what I'm doing. I'm paying you money. You're my coach. I connect with you.
Face to
Now
the
I go
name,
back.
yeah.
I'll do next 5-6 calls on Zoom.
Correct.
And then when I travel through this part of the world, I come back again.
Yeah.
So that happens from somebody who has affluence. But even general people will begin to rely on experts.
So do you think there is the time is not far where nutrition is already, I consider it, and you know how long back we go, how far back we go in working together. But do you think nutrition is now an essential part of your core medical team
I think
in primary healthcare?
I think nutrition has always been in that area. Medical nutrition therapy, MNT, has been very powerful in hospitals, in all-cause mortality cases where we're trying to improve health outcomes. It's just that the vibration of the community, the medical community was like, you take this medicine, eat what you want. The vibration of the patient was, I'll take medicine and eat what I want. But in the last decade, the global awareness on social media, the pushing of content, the consumption of this healthcare content has made people realize that food is therapeutic.
Correct.
It may not deliver the same therapeutic dosing as a drug, but I'll give you a simple example. If you have high sugar level, cinnamon, dalchini, contains a molecule in it called cinnamonaldehyde,
Okay.
which at quarter teaspoon a day is known to lower blood sugar levels. So all you have to do is wear a CGM monitor, take dalchini before your breakfast, before your lunch, before your dinner.
How?
Seven-
Take it how? Just
Just take it directly. Caution, some people get acidity, some people get heat in the body, as you call it in Ayurveda. Again, I'm giving you an example. These are not things that you should try directly. Try it at your own risk. Dalchini is really amazing, gives you good taste and everything. But for certain people, can even cause mouth ulcers.
Right.
But coming back to it, with the CGM, a continuous glucose monitor on your arm, you can actually see a 10-15 drop point in your sugar levels. Instead of going up to 220, it might go up to 180. I've seen this personally myself.
And within how long?
Almost within 1 or 2 days.
Really?
Because the cinnamonaldehyde is the drug inside cinnamon. So where am I going with this? I'm going with this fact that the awareness is now allowing people to realize that there is power in food. There is power in changing my diet. People are yet to come to the conclusion that I need to go to a medical expert to get that advice. कि यार यार diet plan तो दो चावल, दो रोटी, दो अंडा. मतलब my mother also thinks she's a nutritionist.
Yeah.
Right? Every mother thinks she's a nutritionist. So when it comes to medical nutrition therapy, like the other day we launched a podcast. This gentleman wanted to, had stomach cancer. He was given about 6 months to live. He lived more than a year. So the family said he had better outcomes in chemotherapy post changing his nutrition plan.
Correct.
In fact, he began to get a little irritated if what was not planned in the diet chart was not given to him, because he understood the ramifications on everything from his sentient well-being to his gut digestion to even his sleep during the medical therapies. So people today are still in limbo about, can diet really help me? And I think it's because of this. Nutrition or medical nutrition therapy, which is equivalent to a medical diet, is something like having a school principal standing in your classroom every day. Whereas a normal nutrition plan is like everyone going out to play.
Correct.
अरे आज क्या खेलने का?
हाँ.
Football खेलेगा.
Correct.
But if the principal say you have to sit down and study, nobody likes that.
Correct.
You have to sit down and follow this nutrition. Very few people will gravitate towards that. And if you spend a life as a foodie, it's very tough to change people.
Is it possible for healthy food to be tasty?
I initially, many years ago, 2 decades ago, thought that healthy food was always bland, because I worked in Goa Medical College and we saw the food and everything, and it was like, medical food is bland. But a year ago, I met a client of mine who hired a chef.
Okay.
And he was doing the My Nutrition plan, which was a combination of sports, anti-aging,
Right.
as well as, like a little bit of diabetes, BP
Right.
was there. We wanted to do
Right.
reversal. He said, dude, we have to reverse this. So I said, what do I need? I says, you need somebody to prepare your meals, not your normal guy. Because your normal guy will always do what he's always done.
Correct.
You need a new guy. So he said, I'll get you a chef. So he got a 5-star chef to his home.
Okay.
And Ashish, I'm telling you, I had this guy make a celery juice. I've always hated celery juice.
Yes, so have I.
Okay. He just said, Mr. Fernando, pinch of cinnamon, make your celery juice in lemon water.
Oh, okay.
With salt.
Right.
And don't grind the leaves for the first month. I'm like, why not the first month? Because in the first month, they're extremely bitter and your malik will not drink it.
What does that mean? First month?
Because you don't want a kadwa solution. The stems are not kadwa.
Correct.
Only a chef would know that,
Yes.
not a nutritionist. Nutritionist says celery drops uric acid.
Correct.
Celery is very
Khatam
good
hota.
for liver and kidney health.
Correct.
It's got extremely good packets of salt in it, which are great for your acid-base balance in the body.
Right.
But the moment I went home and tried it, I was like, damn, I've been having celery wrong my entire life. So healthy food can be prepared. My godchild is a chef. She's training to become a chef. She made me gluten-free, lactose-free cupcake without sugar. There is science today. It just needs effort to get you the same gastronomy and taste profile in your taste buds.
Really?
Minus the calorie, minus the fat, minus the blah, 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 whatever it is. So please understand, nutrition diet planning is knowing the macro and the micro.
Correct.
It really doesn't involve the construct of the
Ah.
cuisine in it, culinary expertise.
Can you cook?
I can cook. I have not cooked in a long time, but the day I retire from Qua Nutrition, I am getting back to building a full-fledged kitchen.
Which means you're never building it. When will you ever retire from Core Nutrition? So hang on a second. So if you were to, would you prefer someone, a young person comes to you and says, Ryan, really I want to lead a life which is healthy. I want to mend my ways, start good habits. Would you rather have them get food, pre-prepared food, which was there or thereabouts as per your advice, or them to actually cook their food?
It's a very good question. And I can answer for both sides, which is, I want them to go and get it from outside prepared with a good caterer. Define what are the ingredients, preferably organic, and give it to them because the convenience allows you time to do so many other things.
Correct.
But parallelly, when you cook your own food, there was this milkshake study done in the US where people thought they were getting an unhealthy milkshake, and when they swapped it over, their C-reactive protein didn't go up. So the power of the mind, even when receiving wrong food, if you eat in the right vibrational frequency, has an effect of not affecting your health. In the same breath, I believe that when you cook, when you're cooking for yourself, if you cook from a point of love and happiness and curing yourself or reaching your desired goal, then I believe the vibrational frequency, which today we may not be able to measure the quantum energy signature of food. My mother calls it love.
Yes. Yes. So that's true. You believe in that.
I believe in that, and it's evident, no? At home, if my wife makes a breakfast on Sunday for me versus my housekeeping, there's a stark difference.
That
The same ingredients,
That is true.
the same ingredient. What is different? There is a vibrational frequency we humans are just beginning to understand. The universe is made of energy.
You now mentioned twice that your wife cooks, or you expect your wife to send. So you will start getting comments now, right? Why is it that your wife should do this and you shouldn't?
So
We
India,
will not edit this out. Huh?
India,
Let Ryan deal with this.
India, you can troll me on this, but I have given my wife one cook, one housekeeping, and one gardener. So
I have given my wife. It just gets messier and messier. Ryan, you need to dig yourself out of that, buddy.
we should get my wife on a podcast.
Yes. Yes, I would have loved to have Devika here next time, maybe.
So
Jokes apart.
But preparation wise, I mean, I cook for my son sometimes, and I make his.
That's better.
Yeah, I cook waffles and stuff like that and all for him. But I think the reason I do that, in fact, recently I made mango pickle. One time I made mango kulfi for him. So he's lactose and gluten intolerant like me.
Okay.
So we take coconut milk, mango, mix it up together, put it together. So he put carrot in that, in the kulfi, carrot mango kulfi. And I was like, dude, it's not going to taste good.
Yeah.
But as a kid, we were in this kitchen, father and son and everything. And when I ate it, I was like, damn, this is pretty good. So when you cook meals for yourself, you experiment.
Correct.
And you're not
Correct.
hard on yourself.
Correct.
Something comes out crappy. You're like,
Correct.
this is so good.
Correct.
But if a caterer experiments
Yeah.
and gives you something different, then you're hard on the caterer.
Such a great point. Huh?
So
Such a great point.
so sometimes it's good to get in the kitchen. So I am a huge proponent of batch cooking. So all my film stars,
Meal preps.
I'm telling them, get your trailer and everything kitted out with the meal preps. No, but what about fridge food and all? Are you saying to me that your home cooked fridge prep put into the freezer is more unhealthier? Is that correct English? More unhealthy.
More unhealthy. Yeah.
I mean, you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Versus ordering from the local dhaba. हाँ,
Yeah.
ताज़ा वाला food.
हाँ.
लेकिन वहाँ तो palm oil आ रहा है,
Correct.
which is recycled palm oil. Oh, this is one thing that I want to share with you. I was reading an article the other day about FSSAI sending a warning to all hotels about reusing oil.
Oh God, finally.
Okay,
Finally.
reusing oil. All our food in all the substandard restaurants, including some of the elite restaurants, nobody is policing how often they're using that oil.
Correct.
You and I both know you fry in an oil once, it has to be discarded.
Absolutely.
Our dadimas used to try and recycle it. They did not know about trans fats and
Correct.
the unhealthy part. Now get this. So what the government does is they collect all of this oil from the restaurants and use it to make biodiesel.
Correct.
So Ashish, in the previous year, they collected 2.4 lakh liters of oil under registered dealers in India. This year, they collected only 1.5 lakh liters.
No way, sir.
What does that mean? What have you understood?
Yeah, because that's now it's
They're
getting
taking-
refried.
They're taking the recycled oil from the big hotels and selling it to the smaller snack manufacturers. So unscrupulous people are doing this. So what you think you're eating outside, do you know the quality in that restaurant? Has he bought reused oil from a 5-star hotel?
Wow.
घर का खाना भाई, batch cooking, घर में बना लो Sunday में, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Comes home, open up your batch cooking, mix it together, heat it up, boom.
That's got to be. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because now my daughter does it. Actually, she studies
Tell your daughter
overseas.
from me, she's doing the right thing.
Yeah, she studies overseas, and the weekends she's just cooking. I'm like, what are you doing cooking so much? She says, yeah, these are my meal preps. So Monday to Friday, 10 minutes, mix, done.
That's the perfect way. In fact, I teach all my students, all my players, actors and actresses live a privileged life so they can hire the chefs.
Correct.
So that gives them a certain latitude to, be able to get
But
freshly
also
prepared.
equally for them, Ryan, they could be in locations when there is no accessibility
True.
for the kind of ingredients that they might need for their food.
And then I flip it on another way that when people say that I travel for business and all of that stuff, I'm like, eat a solid, good breakfast. You can survive on fruits for lunch. Our ancestors did it.
Correct.
Our ancestors didn't get food. They didn't have a supermarket. They didn't have an apple tree over there to give them an apple. They went hungry for days.
Correct.
So I think
That's okay.
That's absolutely fine. When have you heard somebody dying from a fast?
Yeah.
Even the people who go on fast, no pun intended, for hartals and all, nobody has ever died.
Yeah.
Very few people have died. The human body is built to last. You need water. You need electrolytes. But if your BMI is above 25, Ashish, you and I can go for a fast for 1 month and nothing will happen to us.
Really?
Yeah. Water and electrolytes.
Yeah. A month.
And maybe a multivitamin here
Yeah.
to get the basics in. Maybe some vitamin D supplement.
But you know what? Very interestingly, so when I used to work out more and eat 5 meals a day, I used to feel so much healthier, fitter, stronger. And now when I so lately, this year's been very busy for me. I've not worked out so much. And I've tried to compensate with not eating so much. It doesn't feel the same.
So you're saying you're having lower energy?
Yeah, lower energy. It just doesn't feel right. It just it just feels there's no So functionally, I'm not there.
So what I feel is, and this is as a nutritionist to both some of the fastest athletes in the world and some of the strongest athletes in the world, and also I have a lot of people who come to me for anti-aging, 70, 80, 90 years of age. Ryan, how can I live another decade? Diet can be pristinely done accurately. But for the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse in every cell,
Correct.
to accept nutrition. So take a 25-year-old Ryan, a 50-year-old Ryan, and a 75-year-old Ryan. I give the same organic apple, same organic amla, same organic rice to all three in the same portion. But their mitochondria are at different stages in their life. That is the powerhouse. And that, my friend, can only be changed with your subject matter in which you are the expert. Muscle and exercise physiology. So you said it right. I've not had time to work out. So when a cell had maybe 1,500 mitochondria when you were working out, it's dropped now down to 800. Cellular efficiency in spite of eating, but you said I've dropped down my meals. So you're also going into calorie deficit. So your engine is not on full press of the accelerator. It's on idling or low idling. And hence you're feeling it that. So the solution is to make time for your workout so that you regenerate the mitochondria. In fact, one of the secrets I tell a lot of my clients is to do fasted state training. So twice a week, train in a fasted state. Men should train in a fasted state. Because what you do is you choke out the old mitochondria.
Correct.
So people ask me, what's the key to you looking so young and all? Fasted state training. Try as much as possible train in fasted state. Lati those old guys out of your body. You guys come and bus. We're jawan hai, we're very young. And then you feed it the right nutrition. Boom, it takes it up. But you have old mitochondria and then you feed good nutrition. It's like, okay, take care, I'll chug along. So exercise is key and fasting is key.
Because around that time when I was doing this, what I started wondering is then how fair and valid is intermittent nutrition, especially for athletes who work out a lot or anybody who works out a lot. Let's not, there are a lot of people who work out a lot.
So I genuinely believe that when we look at very professional athletes, the fasted state training should happen only twice a week and only for one session.
No, but fasted state training means you train
when you're fasting.
When
you're not eating.
Yeah, at all through the day or?
No, so it works like this. The previous night you have a low carb meal.
Right.
And you train, let's say on Tuesday and Thursdays. Tuesday morning you train in a fasted state. Only water, only electrolytes. No BCA, no protein powder, no carbohydrates, no dates, no raisins, no nothing. Train true and true and true. And then you come and have a high protein meal, low carbohydrate for the next meal.
Which is
just high protein meal.
No, which is when?
No, which is
on the same day?
On the same day. So by lunchtime, wherein you want to have a rice or a roti, you kind of or potatoes or
and you
pasta,
skip your breakfast.
You're skipping breakfast. So you're just doing your protein shake post the training, and then you're going into a high protein meal. And then at dinner, you recharge your thing. Now this starves out the glycogen. So you drop completely. When you drop completely, you're now knackered and you go for an evening session after that. So you're just about struggling. But that struggle is allowing you to rejuvenate stem cells, rejuvenate mitochondria. So fasted state training. But having said this, I don't believe athletes should do fasted state training at all other than these two experimented conditions under the guidance of a good exercise physiologist and sports nutritionist.
Right.
I did it with Kenneth Bednarik for his Olympics.
Yeah.
How do we get leaner? How do we kind of junk out the bad mitochondria from your system?
Right.
So you have only the potent guys. But for normal people, plus 30, who are not athletes, I think fasting is the equivalent of gold. It is. The biggest problem, even for me personally, is the psychological ability to convince myself not to have something tickling my taste buds for more than 24 hours. Extremely difficult.
True.
But there are certain hacks. I allow green tea, I allow coffee, I allow electrolytes, I allow sparkling water, and I allow cucumber if you get a little bit of acidity. And salad leaves.
Alkaline it down, yeah.
I eat butterhead lettuce. It's got the highest nitrate content, even more than beetroot.
Right.
In fact, I think some researcher many years ago took beetroot because it was very easy. But if you look at the list of nitrates, the highest is in rhubarb. And then butterhead lettuce has one of the highest nitrate contents. So guess what?
What is butterhead lettuce?
Butterhead lettuce is like your iceberg lettuce. It just tastes really amazing.
Okay. Easy to find?
Easy to find in any supermarket. Whenever I go, I'm searching for butterhead lettuce. Trust me, Ashish, after today when you go shopping, you'll only buy butterhead lettuce because that guy doesn't have any bitterness in it. So you're layering it in all your salads or on your sandwiches or in like
Nice and crunchy.
this morning I had 3 whole free range eggs. I don't eat bread. I have about 5 to 8 salad leaves the size of my palm. I take the salad leaves and I scoop up the whole egg and I eat it. So my salad leaf becomes my bread. So that way I lower my carbohydrate. But coming back to who has ever measured how many calories they really eat? Who has measured how much protein they need in the day? Who has ever measured the amount of carbohydrate they need? Who has measured how much fat they've eaten? Only the athletes, only the film stars. The arm army eats out of love and culture. What your mother has taught you how to eat, you are eating the same quantity. What your house puts on your plate, you eat that. When you go to a hotel, have you ever noticed, especially we Indians, we never leave food?
Yes.
Because in mother's voice is at the back of your head, no?
Correct.
Ashish,
Correct.
khana mat. My mother's voice is in my head every time I'm eating.
Yeah.
Don't leave food. You always leave food. That fellow will come and tie the food to your stomach and everything. All of the stories come in your head, right?
There are
So-
people dying in Africa.
That was the year that we were
लोगों
around.
के पास खाने को नहीं है, तुम खाना छोड़ रहे हो. Yes. Correct. Did we miss out on the genetic lottery? Did we, as Asians, right? The Asian subcontinent, I think, kind of similar gene pool. Are we disadvantaged with what we have in our systems?
Aren't we the largest population in the world?
Well, no,
So-
because
so-
I'll tell you why. This is not my question.
Yeah.
A lot of these questions are to bust the myths out there, which we use, I feel, as a crutch and an excuse.
I genuinely agree with you because let's take the example of Neeraj Chopra. Did we
I was going
ever
to come to that.
did we ever think we could ever win a gold medal in javelin?
Yeah, no chance at all.
Did we ever think we could win in track and field?
Yeah.
The day an Indian breaks the gold medal, every Indian will understand it is the environment. Genetics is the hand that you're dealt, but how you play that hand is in your destiny.
Okay, hang on a second. Have we been dealt a poor hand?
I genuinely believe that it depends on where you're born. So that is called karma. Your father and mother ka jodi, which Pandit has matched them, or which kind.
On the whole, overall, the gene pool that we're sitting on. Okay?
No,
so I
I
understand
refuse.
this.
I refuse to believe that. I'm doing genetic testing now in India for over a decade. Like we were one of the first pioneers on nutrition to bring genetic testing in 2012. I remember doctors used to troll me, and today doctors are recommending everyone please go and do your nutrition genetic test, do your cancer genomics and all. But coming back to the fact of the matter is this: we have certain segments in our population through selective, I would like to call it breeding. You get married in the same community. Good genes get amplified. Take, for example, the Jat community. Or take, for example, the South Indian Tamilian community. Very brilliant brains in chess, right? So there is a selection that happens in these communities. The downside to that is the medical issues. Like the most amount of vitiligo cases will come in Rajasthan and Gujarat and Haryana belt because people are getting married in that. The most amount of rheumatoid arthritis will come in a certain belt. Most amount of heart disease. In fact, recently in Orissa, people eat a lot of rice and West Bengal. Some of them never develop diabetes. There is a certain gene that doesn't switch on for diabetes. So I'm not a genetic expert. I'm a nutrigenomics counselor. I know how to read a genetic test to change your behavior.
Correct.
But the genetic scientists that I have interviewed on podcasts are talking about that if you can screen, you can find a champion. You can also find heart disease. So I call that the genetic lottery. So it's your karma of how your mommy, daddy have met and what genes have you inherited. But make no mistake, in the sporting department, I genuinely believe any academy, any government organization, whether it's BCCI or Sports Authority of India, or even a NGO that's sponsoring athletes, if you haven't genetically tested a person that you're endorsing, supporting, or pumping in public funds, I think it's about time you start doing it.
Yeah. No, very good point. Very good point. Very good point. And I'm glad You've also broken it down into the hand that you dealt with and what you do with it and how you play that hand. Uh, will we, do you think, uh, do we have it in us as Indian, as a nation, the great nation that we are? Do we have it in us to be able to bang out a sub 9.58 100 meters runner?
In my time, definitely yes.
Really?
In my time, definitely yes. And let me tell you why. Look at the statistics of a 1.3 billion and not finding Kenneth Bednarik, who's one of the fastest 200 meter and 100 meter guys in the world, or a Noah Lyles.
Yeah.
So 1.3 billion, statistically, the kid is already out there. We just have to find the kid. And a lot of times, I know this has got nothing to do with science, but there's something called, you find an old soul in a new body. You see somebody in your family and that person's so wise or that person's so talented. Like, how can a kid at the age of 3 know how to do a cover drive?
Correct.
Right? Just by watching TV. So there are souls as a form of physical and spiritual energy. When you're able to align the physical, which is the genetics and the diet and the exercise and the sleep, and then the spiritual part, it's up to people like coaches to find such souls. Then subject them to diagnostic testings. Then bring them to the experts and doing all the assessments to determine potential. And then we have to put them into programs that start at grassroots levels. See, we are only supporting athletes once they become a champion.
No, I think fast bowling in cricket is a prime example where we used to believe for no reason at all that we cannot produce outstanding fast bowlers who are bowling at 140 150 and doing that consistently, and India will never have a fast bowling attack and we'll always have spinners who will do it with us. Look at the fast bowlers. The world's scared of our fast bowlers now, and it's one after the other. It's just relentless, and that's because, like you said, someone's done it. Now it's possible, so someone else does it, like a 4-minute mile, right? Didn't get broken for a long time, and then within the year there were many people who managed to do it.
In fact, yours is a classic example as the National Cricket Academy, wherein obviously you are able to screen the athletes when they come in very young and figure out what are the imbalances then, and it all boils down to the leadership and the vision also inside BCCI.
No, BCCI has done an outstanding job.
So somebody like you coming back from the UK at a pedigree, forget affordability, to bring you into the National Cricket Academy, it requires a lot of head vision, foresight. I think we need that in other sports. But if we flip this into the medical part, I believe we're going to have an accelerated journey of over the next 15 years, like how China grew in the 1990s. If the government can use the Aadhaar card and a once-in-a-lifetime genetic screening of the entire Indian 1 billion population, costs will come down. Costs will come to lesser than $1,000 a person in the population. And I don't believe that the government will not have that money to spend on the population.
What's that money you're talking about?
The money I'm talking about to screen a person.
Let's calculate the money.
So I met Mr. Velumani, the former founder of Thyrocare, recently in a podcast. And he has said to me, with the cost of chips coming down and the volume of people coming in to get tested genetically, they can bring down the cost to as low as $100 today to test a genetic sample and completely do the code sequencing.
So what's $100 for a billion?
I have not worked it out. So
$100 billion.
$100 billion.
So hang on a second. So what you're saying, Ryan, is that at $100, if someone were to decide to screen the entire or pretty much the entire, say 100 million or billion. So you're talking about $100 times 1 billion, $100 billion project.
Correct.
And there you've got the entire nation mapped out on our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities.
I mean, it is with the Aadhaar, right? That's a number, right?
True.
So now it's just that much more volume of data from a saliva sample or a blood sample.
True.
The ramifications from a positive benefit point of view by me as a medical professional would be this. Imagine if you could find all the Usain Bolts in that. Number one.
Those are the opportunities.
Opportunities. Or you understand that so many million people have a higher risk for long QT syndrome or tachycardia or angina.
Correct.
So you start screening at a very early age What does the early age screening do? Behavioral modification.
Correct.
You have to meet your doctor every 6 months.
Correct.
So your lost manpower days in your 50s and 60s at the workplace is reduced because you don't have the mental stress of this. On the other hand, it could be like, I don't want to know. Or does the government know too much to stop giving me my insurance after the age of 70
Yeah.
because I have all the bad medical genes?
Correct.
So by isko, matlab,
Jaane do.
chane do, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is a kind of thing wherein today, as a private citizen, I've done my cancer genetic testing. So very interestingly, I'll tell you this story that we did a scan and my wife and me were just going through everything, and obviously in the ovarian scan there's something came up and the doctor said, go meet a good gynecologist. So we went and that lady blasted us. Who told you to do the scan? I didn't tell you to do the scan. She did this. She did another scan again and like, oh, all is good, but you come back next year again because there is a risk element.
Right.
So the first scan was promoting the identity that there could be a risk element. Doctor confirmed, come back every year to check for risk. So what I did is I called,
Why was she upset?
you know, like I want to be the authority that
I
asks you
should have
to-
told you.
I should have told you to do the test. But coming back to the fact of the matter is, today I think democracy has allowed us to do our own blood test, our own diagnostic test. You can do your own PET scan also today if you want.
Only in India.
Only in India. And that's amazing about this country.
Yeah.
You want to do a blood test, you want to do an X-ray, you can go anywhere and get it done. And I think that gives power to us as a democracy.
Right.
I mean, I've heard of countries where you have to wait 2 months and 3 months just to get a medical appointment. But anyway, digressing, coming back. So I took a blood sample from my wife and we sent it to the genetic lab which we work with. Now they do a cancer genomic testing, which
Okay.
means they look for cancer markers in your gene lineage.
Right.
And is there a risk element?
Yes.
So for me, luckily, touch wood, thank you Lord, the good news is that both my wife and me do not have any cancer markers in our genetic lineage. But that doesn't mean I won't get cancer or my wife won't get cancer. It means the environment could cause the cancer. What is the environment? My diet,
Correct.
my lack of sleep,
Correct.
my using chemicals on my body, perfumes,
Correct.
plastics, microplastics in our
Correct.
food, the pollution in our country,
Correct.
the stress in my job.
Correct.
I could get cancer from that.
Correct.
So we'll be able to, with genetic testing, assess risk and also be comfortable, but at the same time modify behavior. Now, what's my modification behavior? Me and my wife must have had an argument last month about tomatoes because she bought it from the local shop.
Ah,
I'm like, they're not organic.
correct.
You should have bought organic. It's like, one time you eat organic, you're making such halla bullu. So that the point is, I'm making halla bullu because I've done the testing and we can get it only now by the environment.
Correct.
God knows which farmer put what chemical on that, which is going to go into my wife's body and my body and cause something.
Correct.
So those are the type of power of information that you can get.
Correct.
But I am doing counseling with people and I tend to figure out that only a small segment of the population wants to know. And the reason I did the cancer genomic testing for my wife is that we handle oncology cases in Qua Nutrition, medical oncology. So the diet is very powerful. And I'm calling out all doctors out there. You tell clients, chemotherapy, eat what you want. No, we have data in our clinic. People's recovery improve. People have not vomited during chemotherapy session because we have not put in the allergic foods to them.
Wow.
They have not vomited in chemotherapy.
That's very powerful, huh?
Because food is therapeutic. Food can heal the body. Which type of food? But here's the thing. The power of knowing this allows me as an individual to take very planned decisions. But when you don't know this, you wait till you get the disease. So there are two types of people. There are vain people and there are pain people. I don't want to know means you wait for the pain. I want to know means you're vain. Vanity in a good sense.
Correct.
The good sense that I'll take care of my health. I'll do the testing. I'll do, like, I don't know about you, but I go to the dentist every 6 months. I don't have any cavities. I don't have anything, but it's just maintenance.
Correct.
I mean, we send our cars for maintenance.
Correct.
We send everything for
Correct.
maintenance.
Correct.
We
Correct.
paint a house every Diwali.
Correct.
But the human body, we don't want to do those checkups that are required.
Correct. Correct. No, so true. So true. So with respect to where we are in the genetics, and we started that discussion around the hand that we dealt with. Uh, do you think, apart from what you're given uh, as a genetic makeup setup, you're also given heritage, culture, history. Uh, do you think we also have a responsibility to then continue to draw from the experiential, the empirical, the heritage and the cultural kind of practices around our food that have been handed over to us from one generation to another?
I think Ayurveda could be an example that I would take for this. Whereas we draw from our culture, we draw from our ancient wisdom. And when you marry it with modern day science, that balance is what I would strive for.
Right.
So when people say kapha, pita, vata, and you should eat this and you should not do this, I would layer it with the diagnostic testings and then do a sattvic diet. In fact, we actually do that.
Yeah, I know
So-
you guys do a
So we do
sattvic.
the genetic testing, we do the microbiome testing, we do the functional medicine testing, put all of that, filter 1, filter 2, filter 3, and then how do you go via the sattvic route? So the sattvic filters there. It's a nightmare earlier. Now it's become much more better because we are layering it with AI. So AI is able to
Correct.
pick and say, okay, this guy can eat only 7 types of food. So the moment we do that, we go back to the client, is like, look, if you want to do sattvic and you want to do this, you can eat only 7 foods. Like, how can I eat only 7 foods? Like, okay, can we be a little bit flexible? But I think there is no replacement towards human wisdom and human experience. So, for example, a coach is coaching somebody. If I do the genetic test and I find out that that person has a sprint gene, has a higher risk of a rotor cuff injury from a genetic point of view, I'll give all of that data. But the coach is able to see
Correct.
that at a very early age, or forecasting ability. That's
Correct.
wisdom. When you have both working together, which is why I say, right, the experts who embrace technology are the ones who will be able to give a better diagnostic outcome, as well as the patient will have a less cocky outcome that says Google said this. Google will say something without that master, empirical master, who's the coach, the physio, the doctor, the nutritionist, the masseur, whoever it is. But when you add these two together, it'll be amazing.
So in kind of a philosophical kind of way, just without digressing too much from the discussion topic, do you think things like yoga, Ayurveda, they should be completely dissociated from religion and actually be a heritage that we're all proud of?
I want to say something very controversial here. I'm a Christian. This morning I listened to not Ayurvedic, sorry. I'll say that again. Vedic chants. I love them.
Say it again.
I'll do it from the beginning. So Ashish, I'm going to say something very controversial over here from this context of these Ayurveda and yoga being linked to religion. I'm a Christian. Every religion on the planet, I'm not an expert in Hinduism. I've read the Quran, I've read the Bible, I've read a few other books and all. Little bit, not much. I'm no expert. But if you look at every religion of people, everyone believes that their religion is correct and their God is right. So there's a certain arrogance in the belief of your own religion, and we call it blind faith. But this morning I listened to very powerful Vedic chants. I love it. I also know in science that the one tone that vibrates the vagus nerve is the word Om, which vibrates my vagus nerve.
Correct.
Which connects the brain and my gut system.
Correct.
It also increases my nitric oxide by 15-fold if I do it for 40 minutes a day in slots of 10 minutes 4 times a day.
Right.
Experiments have been conducted.
Right.
Now, the experiment tells me that that frequency of sound which vibrates my vocal cord, which happens to be Om, Now, where is Om most predominantly found? In the Hinduism religion. Om is related to Bhagwan. And from Bhagwan, you have the three avatars Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma. And they comes in, right? We have the Holy Trinity God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Islam, you have only Allah, and then you have his prophet, right? In Buddhism, Buddha came along, he attained nirvana, and he found Buddhism. When you're going to do exercise, or you're going to do Ayurveda, by joining it to a religion, the only thing I think people need to ask is, who is trying to manifest what cash out? Because God has no relationship to cashing out on an exercise or
A diet
a diet.
or
Okay.
a lifestyle.
So it is just plain fundamentalistic belief of trying to control people. Like I know in Christianity that people say don't do yoga, it's a Hinduism thing. And it is blatantly wrong. Yes, there may be chants in it. Fine, don't do the chant. But do the posture movement, no? And say Jesus, Jesus, Mary, whatever, Joseph, whatever you want to say when you're doing that thing. I just can't understand. And I'm more of a liberal because I married a Hindu. So when you marry somebody from an opposite religion, there is an arrogance to say that my God is better than your God. Dude, it's an eye opener the way you're brought up to be a fundamental Christian and have that, okay, my God is absolute God. And then when you meet the Hindu gods, interesting. And there's an acceptance. And then when a Hindu person comes to you with church and says, oh, wow, you have this sermon, that's so nice. The priest talks to you about this. Oh, you go and receive prasad like that. Yeah, that's called Holy Communion. Commercialization of religion has happened because human minds are very weak today. People have stopped reading. People have stopped connecting internally with God. And if you ask me, your conversation with God should be private. Even your spouse should not know when and which God you speak to because God is one. Religions are a product of human creation. They're all brands. And the ultimate product is God. And that marketing manager in that religion says, if you don't follow my religion, you will not get into my loyalty program. Bus.
Well said. Well said. Very well said. You know, when I first read about you, we obviously connected when I was looking for, someone exceptional, someone who we could really rely on with our top athletes, the cricketers, as a part of the National Cricket Academy. But before that, I had already, and someone then recommended your name, obviously. But even before that, very quickly, I could recall the name. I read an article in the newspaper about when you rode Sushil Kumar's diet, right? And what stood out in that, and I read the article, and it must have been a very long time ago. When was that?
2009, maybe most likely, because he won the bronze in 2008 and then he won the silver in 2012. So you may have read the article in 2012.
No. I think it would have been more around 8 or 9. I
Then
think
it's 8 or 9.
because it was before we met.
Yeah, okay.
So what excited me? In fact, it may have been before I came to India. So it may have been 2008 actually. So what excited me was that you had given him a rasgulla at the end of the day. And I distinctly remember this. And I'm thinking, this must be an extremely clever man to then go to a Haryanavi wrestler and say, okay, buddy, you can have your rasgulla, which you clearly cherish so much. And I'm going to figure out a way of giving this to you and still keeping things, keeping the outcome delivered the way that you want the outcome, but also working around what you are comfortable with. And is that, tell me about that because I still, it still excites me.
So as a
thinking about it.
sports nutritionist, I always tell a lot of people who nowadays troll me on the internet, you got to have experiential wisdom.
Mm.
And experiential wisdom only comes with interacting with your athlete. You see, we know that protein helps an athlete build. We know that we require 1.5, 2 grams per kg body weight. We know what are the sources of protein. We know that milk is one of the most biological available proteins as is egg.
Mm.
You can't tell Sushil Kumar to eat egg. She's got to have milk, right? Like, to get 30 grams of protein, you got to drink 5 liters of milk. Right now, even Sushil Kumar, if I give him 5 liters of milk, he has got a weight category sport. He'll become a sumo wrestler.
Correct.
So you have to understand that wisdom says that you need a compact protein. What are you left with? You're left with a whey protein or a casein protein. What is whey? Chanch. What is casein? Cottage cheese, paneer, rasgulla, boiled in sugar syrup. Right? Is it rasgulla or rasmalai?
Rasgulla.
Rasgulla, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a white one, right?
Yeah.
So it's casein.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You need to understand that as a sports nutritionist, you deal with the physiological and the psychological. The reason I am one of the best sports nutritionists on the planet is everyone knows the physiological part. They don't get the psychological part.
You can connect with the athlete.
So when the athlete is about to get into an Olympics, he is eating clean, disciplined, pushing beyond the elements of calories that he really needs. He's like pressing his accelerator and there's no fuel coming in.
Correct.
You give him 2 rasgullas at the end of the night, that guy is dreaming about winning the gold medal.
Correct.
The next morning he's running for those 2 rasgullas only, extra, and I calculated and told him how much. Doctor साहब, कितना भागने का? 7 मिनट भागने का, बस उतना ही करने का है. ज़्यादा करेगा तो ग्लाइकोजन निकल जाएगा. So when people don't win Olympic medals today because they're not able to handle weight in the 2020s, I just shake my head because there's a lot of intellectual supremacy because of degrees, but there's very little wisdom and connect when planning a diet. And that is the difference between a talented nutrition and a great nutritionist. You understand the athlete, you understand the timing, you understand what that person needs at the moment. Is it physiological or psychological? In my opinion, it's a beautiful combination of both.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I gave an athlete, I asked him, what was your favorite? He says, I like chocolate brownie, but you said I can't have it. Immediately on YouTube, gluten-free, lactose-free brownie. I got some 42 recipes. Tuck, tuck, tuck. I sent it to the mother. Mother's like, how do I do this? I gave the shopping list. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Got the shopping list. Put it to her. 4 hours later, she's made it. He loves it. He's going to follow your entire diet plan.
Yes. Correct.
He came to me like this. I have to go to the nutritionist. He's not going to allow me to eat anything. Right? Food is their essence, right? They've trained so hard.
Correct.
They'll come back. And then you are this, like, I see so many nutritionists, nahi, ye mat de do, wo mat de. Guys, if an athlete eats 1 rasgulla, unless he's weighing next morning, then you be careful. But otherwise, let there be a play. No, nobody's down to 45 calories accuracy, 45 grams accuracy. Nobody. I think the only people who are that accurate are the astronauts. Because they can't poop more in space or they can't weigh more in space and they come down. They need exact weight. So there is a trajectory calculated over there. That's one of my passions in life, to design the diet plans for astronauts that will go to Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that will have to be mathematical brilliance.
Correct.
Borderline psychopath. I'm going to kill you in space because I'm not getting my rasgulla.
Correct. Correct. No, but you're so too, right? And from there, and we both spoke around the time when that happened. What happened with Vinesh, in your opinion? Because you worked with a lot of athletes of that region. You have worked with a lot of wrestlers. I have worked with a lot of wrestlers, boxers. What do you think could have been done differently?
Many factors. I mean, I do apologize for criticizing the team and all in the past. But in hindsight, when I look at it, I mean, there could have been many factors, Dr. Ashish. The key factor could be hormonal cycle. So you got to plan for that. You got to plan exactly to know where she is. You've got to have data of at least the last 15 cycles.
Right.
So how does the body shape? So you got your weight measurements, body fat percentage, you got blood test. So you know when estrogen, progesterone, sex binding globulin is peaking, blah, blah, blah. So you look at that and you're tracking it. So you got to spend money on that. In addition to this, you want to look at your training loads in the last 15 months. So when you're eating correctly and then how you train really hard 3 days prior, and then you basically have a drop. So there are various techniques. I could do a 6-hour show on what are the techniques you can use for water dropping, fat dropping, muscle dropping, plain starvation, sweatsuits, so many things you could use. So I really didn't know what techniques they would have used. But to be in a final and silver or gold, and then because you not known how much weight was there, I'd like to think that the point that we need to have here, and not going into the specific case, is this: we have experts helping to build these athletes, but the criteria by which these experts are selected is a question that I would like to ask. Like, I genuinely believe I'm one of the most qualified nutritionists in this country, already having won 2 Olympic medals with Sushil, Kumar, Kenneth Benedict, silver.
Correct.
An American athlete comes to an Indian nutritionist.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'd like to help in this selection of the sports nutritionists that work with all of these athletes. Now, let me tell you what's happening. What's happening is they're selecting nutritionists via their schemes. So all of these funding bodies who get corporate social responsibility, they have money, which is a great thing. Obviously, they're going to go out and select the medical experts. Now, Ashish, you're one of the most highly paid physios in the country at National Cricket Academy. Even the closest hospital in India would not pay that salary to you. We need that sort of conviction to happen at the Olympic level. But when it's corporate social responsibility, that guy who's given the money is telling that board of experts, why do you want to spend 15 lakhs on a nutritionist per month when you can get a nutritionist for 35,000 rupees? So you're academically qualified, certified by the International Olympic Committee with a sports diploma in nutrition. But do you have the pedigree of experience to handle that? Number one. Number two, who's your core team? You report into the medical director. The medical director may not have all the knowledge on sports nutrition. So you need a sports nutrition director. You need a physiotherapy director. You need a masseur director in the gamut of Indian sports at the top. And then you break it down to all your sports. So tomorrow, if India had 1,000 nutritionists for different games, from the grassroots level to the state level, to the district, to the regional level, then to the national level, and then to the Southeast Asia level, to the Asian level, and then ultimately the world champion Olympic level. All these nutritionists have to report to a process and protocol. Correct. That has to be designed, because that young guy at a national level is not going to be able to help an athlete on an Olympic level. And with a little bit of humility, I would say this much. So Ashish, even with Sushil Kumar in 2008, when he won the Beijing Olympics, he won a bronze, I was still green behind the ears. So obviously there are so many good support staff today. They're also green behind the ears. But one advice that I would give them is that whilst you do rely on AI and ChatGPT and Google and stuff like that, trust the old guys, the old brigade, the coaches, the physios, the masseurs, the physiotherapists, all of these people, strength and conditioning coaches, because they would have some experiential wisdom with that athlete for 3 to 5 years. And you get that data out and don't have an arrogance of technical superiority, evidence-based medicine. I get trolled so much. Where is the evidence-based medicine? Why? I have been doing this for 2 decades. Evidence-based medicine is in my clinic. Ashish comes to me, I look at his full file, he is my scientific study. So when you say, where is the proof in that you can reverse diabetes, it is not that I'm making a general claim, but for analyzing Ashish to win a medal, there is data to be analyzed. For Ashish having diabetes, there is a data to be analyzed. Sports nutrition is a wonderful driver to develop a career in medical nutrition. I don't know if you know this, but ABS was designed in Formula cars. Traction control was designed in Formula 1 cars. Your turbo boost button and cruise control was designed in Formula 1 racing. All of those are standard in your cars today.
Correct. No, that's exactly
So
what
sports tends to move that into medical nutrition.
Correct. Absolutely. I mean, in fact, go a level up. It's your astronauts, whatever technology we're developing for astronauts comes to sport, then it comes to regular population. So with your aspiration of managing an astronaut, that's probably a progression now into the elite, a la elite. So yeah, I mean it's absolutely, and I now feel, having worked across various environments, that sometimes there can be that, I'd stop short of calling it an error of judgment or a mistake, but the highest qualified person in the room isn't always the best person to solve every problem. And it seems to be like that in our systems, where you find the person with the most number of degrees, and in that social strata of medical structures, to be then someone who should or could have knowledge to solve every problem. So the best surgeon in the world will still not know half as much as you would, or even 10% of as much as you would about your field. And I think that's where that restructuring is perhaps
I
warranted.
think also, I mean, the government's doing a great job, but it's doing such a great job that it's decoupling from who's in control.
Hmm.
And that is not dangerous, but it'll just take us a little longer time to evolve, which means we'll make far more mistakes. So, for example, bring in Louise Burke. Who is she? She is one of the best sports nutritionists on the planet. She's my professor. She's with the Australian Olympic team. You pay her enough money to come and set up the systems for India over a decade, and then stick to that system. Or find the Canadian system, find the American system. Or people say, oh, we should develop our own system. Fine, develop your own system. But let's start somewhere. And I feel Sports Authority of India is the place to start. The only thing is that when you have a government job, you're not incentivized to take risks. In private practice, like when I worked with Virat, you sent Virat Kohli to me, or you sent Yuvraj Singh to me, or Shikhar Dhawan to me, I would have taken a lot of risk elements in nutrition. Shikhar Dhawan has a broken thumb, or somebody else has an issue, Robin Uthappa had XYZ. My job was, can I push nutrition so aggressively that the guy gets back onto the field? Similarly, when sometimes you choose to give a painkiller, or you choose to give a corticosteroid as the medical team, for whatever purpose, because the player has to come back to play.
Correct.
There's a risk element. I think we're losing out on that ability today by being in safe jobs. And when people are in safe jobs, they are not worried whether the athlete's going to win a medal or not.
Correct. That's not the KRA.
Yeah.
Oh, it is, but
yeah. So we are sitting on the private side of it, so we can say a lot of things, and it's tough for those people who are dealing with the athletes directly.
Of course.
But I would say this to each and every athlete out there. Whenever looking to engage an expert, do not be afraid to ask what are their qualifications. Do not be afraid to ask what is their experience. How many people have they worked with? Can you share those details? I still remember the first time I met Amir Khan. I sat in his bulletproof Mercedes. It was the first time I sat in a bulletproof Mercedes.
Okay.
I couldn't close the door.
Achha.
The driver said, "Saab, haath mat laga do.
Achha.
Button hai." Okay. So from his house, he says, "I like you, but you need to sit in the car and come to the airport. I don't have time." So, okay, fine, take care. My vehicle will follow your vehicle.
Yeah.
So we went from his house in Bandra to the airport. It was like about a 25-minute drive. He asked me all the questions about who I was, where I'm from, what's my degrees, what's my educational qualification, who all have I done before. And I'm like, sir, you only called me for Dangal role because you wanted the dietitian of Sushil Kumar, because Dangal was all about the wrestling movie. So they went to Sushil Kumar and said, who are your experts? I said, so Sushil Kumar said, call me Dr. Ryan. So Dr. Ryan, Dr. Saab mera specialist hai. So I was like, that's how I worked with Sushil, to win the Olympic medals and all. So he asked me unabashedly all my qualifications, and I was like feeling a little bit like nervous inside and sweating like, oh God, I'm getting grilled over here. But I think every professional should be grilled. And that is the right of the consumer, that is the right of the sports person, that's the right of the film star. Ask. Because in our professions, there are a lot of Instagram specialists.
Yeah. Social media.
Instagram was not allowed for you and me. Now everyone's like, oh, this study, that study, this study and everything. And people ask me, you're a YouTube influencer? No, I'm not a YouTube influencer. I'm not a YouTube influencer. I own 8 nutrition clinics. I have 200 dietitians on my team.
Correct.
I am a practicing nutrition counselor. I sit in a room and I counsel.
Correct.
This is education. This is awareness. We don't choose to influence you. We choose to give you information so you can make the same decision that the sports person makes or that film star makes.
Correct. Absolutely spot on. I mean, I think there is a little bit of an inhibition, and I just put it down as cultural, where we'd be happy to grill, so to speak, a lot of other professionals, but you're supposed to take anybody who's related to healthcare, health sciences as it is. Like, you're not supposed to question a surgeon about their degrees and a doctor about their medical qualifications.
My dad's going in for a prostate surgery. The first day when I met the doctor, I asked him, tell me your degrees. You got 5 minutes. What have you done? How many patients have you operated? So he looked at me like,
that's the thing, right?
And I was like, look, I'm coming to you because we have heard very good things about you. I just want you to reassure my soul that you're the Virat Kohli of urologists. So he smiled when I said that. He's like, he says, I think I'm the Sunil Gavaskar of urologists. And I got his equation, like, okay, I've got more experience than all of these guys. So that was good. And then he proceeded to tell me what all he'd done. And then when he said he had done his fellowship at the Royal Medical College and stuff, and I was like, okay, get there means you are the creme de la creme. You know? And so suddenly you're now like, okay, whatever you say, we're going to follow. So when we came out of that, my dad was like, with his walking stick, like, so good doctor, no? Oh, London. Like, yeah, Dad, London, in India, in Bangalore, thumbs up. So already I could see that 50% of him was confident.
Trust is such a big thing, right?
So trust is a huge part in our profession, in sports or lifestyle modifications and all. And sometimes people feel that, oh, okay, these guys, yours or Core Nutrition are there, and you and I, honestly speaking, to the rest of the world, we consult and we are taken care of. But it's the extended thing that we want to do, where everyone can get the philosophy of good nutrition or move freely without pain anymore from your side.
It's the word that you use, right? It's I was calling it kind of as scalability, and you rightly pointed out, it's actually democratizing. And I think we're both on our missions to democratize and ensure that whatever's available to a Virat or a Shreyas or a Sanya is also available to Sharmaji and Varmaji and Joseph Bhai and everybody else out there, right? So that's the purpose, and that's the I get a little uncomfortable as well. I say, "Acha ji, ab social media expert, influencer."
I remember when we did our first podcast, and I kept telling you that, Ashish, when you rehabbed my ACL and your team and I went back to doing a deadlift back again, I didn't have a back problem, but I psychologically I had just shut that down in my previous injury, and your team went back to train me. And I'm like, dude, this needs to reach every neighborhood. Because what is required? Yes, you need money, but then you need talented individuals. You need a training school for that talented individual, so they train in your facility. And then you require the clients or the patients. Clients or patients come when they understand what could be the probable outcomes. And our businesses are constructed in such a way, they're very unglamorous. Doing a deadlift is no way glamorous, but of course Instagram is now making glamorous where people lift 120 kgs when they're not supposed to do that.
Or fake plates. ये भी मेरे को पता चला.
Oh, you get fake plates also?
अभी I just saw something on Instagram itself.
Fake plates.
Where they said, boss, ये मेरा studio है और ये fake plates हैं. And these get sold to Instagrammers.
So anyway, coming back to what you and I have to do is we have to get the democratization or scalability of this. And I think what I have been doing at Core Nutrition is, one, I have not taken funding. Because the reason behind that is my previous 2 businesses were funded, and if the investor doesn't have what is called as patience capital, the vision to see where the founder wants to take the democratization of this, they're always looking at a profitability. So I will always expand, not from do more, do more, do more. I will be like, expand. Can that clinic pay for itself? Can those dietitians pay their salary? So influencing is a key part of my marketing campaign. To get people out there to say like, you know what? He's doing nutrition genetic testing. Oh, he discovers whether I should drink coffee or I should drink milk or not drink milk or not have gluten. And then when we get people to do the testing, then they're like, okay, now what do I do? And then they come in for a nutrition plan. So these are the things that we face as problems in today's world, which is there is a democratization of availability of knowledge.
Availability is there, yeah.
There are a lot of experts. I would sincerely ask people to ask the hard-hitting questions is, what is your degree?
What should be your degree? Who should be my nutritionist?
Person has to have a degree in nutrition and dietetics, can have a degree in plain nutrition, can have a degree in biochemistry, can have a degree in any life sciences and then do a diploma in nutrition. Okay. But everyone in my Qua nutrition clinics are all master degree holders in food science and nutrition, food nutrition, medical nutrition. So the word nutrition or food sciences needs to be in there.
Needs to appear in their degrees.
That's one. Second is the pedigree of the brand. Right? So when you and I buy a car, my local mechanic can assemble a car together. Right? But we will go for a brand. And then you choose the different levels of brand. You can buy a car for 5 lakh rupees and you can buy a car for 5 crore rupees. Somewhere in between all of that is the word quality and assurance and all of that stuff. I think in healthcare, what people need to look at is what is their desired outcome, the vein or the pain part, and then accordingly focus. And by the way, in my organization, what we've done is, like when you go to a hair cutting salon, you have the junior stylist, the senior stylist, the associate director, the director of cutting, and then the founder of cutting. In my organization, we have the same thing now.
Right.
So based on experiential wisdom, you can look at the qualifications and you can look at the experience. And then based on that, you take the next step in recruiting a dietitian or a nutritionist. But I just wanted to make a point that a lot of people today are certified. Certifications, even Ryan Fernando offers a certificate in nutrition. Does that qualify you to practice? No.
Okay.
So a university has to give you a degree. And I genuinely, when I interview people, I look for degrees because, true, you may have a lot of passion. But Ashish, I'll ask you a very cheeky question. Ryan Fernando is very passionate about physiotherapy. And he knows everything about all the anatomy in the human body. He knows how to give a great massage. He knows how to do teens therapy or teens therapy, whatever you call it. He's done a certification in physical movement. Will you hire me as a physiotherapist in a clinic?
No. It's a protected title. I mean, I don't know whether nutritionist is
Not
a protected title.
It's becoming protected.
Yeah, it should. So that should be the first step, I feel.
It's coming.
In that,
I have information from the government that it's coming.
Yeah. Which is sure. It's about time now.
It's about a year and then everyone will have to get licensed.
Yes.
And once everyone gets licensed, then the public will understand that I will go to this licensed practice.
Correct. Correct.
Dubai has this, US has it, America has it, Australia has it. India is late to the game, but I will be very, very happy once it comes in because then all the influencers can create all the influencing videos and then they'll send traffic to us because we are licensed.
Create awareness.
Yeah,
Create awareness.
exactly.
Yes, yes. So, very interesting, the Amir Khan story. What are you must have had so many different experiences. Which was the most jaw-dropping experience for you to be dealing with a celebrity and you thought, oh my God, I've never been in this situation?
Most of them have been wonderful.
Yeah.
I've never had a celebrity who's been very aggressive. And you and I both know them, right? Behind the scenes, they're down to
Nice
earth.
people, yeah.
They behave a certain way in public because the public have no respect. Photo खींचने का है. People just pop the phone. Right? So they have to have a shield.
Khana khate ho.
Shield has to come up, right?
Yeah.
So people mistake that shield for them being arrogant or aloof or whatever. But whoever I worked in the background has been amazing. But sometimes the gold requests that come in, like a gun is put to your head. Like, I've got to do this movie shoot in so many days. I've got a former client, a sports person. I'm not going to say more because you'll guess the person is coming back for another diet plan again, and the ask is for a six pack again, right? So the thing is that the timeline with a lot of the celebrity sports stars and the celebrity actors and actresses is like, bhai, I want the best. I'll pay any amount of money. Result hona chahiye.
You want to buy time, right?
Yeah.
You want to buy time, essentially.
And it's so tough because you have to go into that explanation with a lot of them. Why you've been working out regularly, you've been doing clean diets. But even you asking me this, like, in 6 weeks you want a six pack, so it's not possible. But I worked with the who's who in the industry. I mean, you sent Anupam Kherji to me, one of the most wonderful human beings to work with. I mean, every counseling with him was hilarious.
Yes.
They were private counseling and they were hilarious. Like, if the world wants to know who's the funniest film star, it has to be Sir Anupam. Even if you're on the most depressed day, he will take you out of depression just with his banter. And so many great people. Fardeen was one of the most jaw-dropping, eye-opening, humbling experiences I've ever worked.
Yeah?
Yeah, Fardeen is like he should be a guru.
Really?
Yeah, he's like so nice, so humble. Like, I mean, he comes from wealth, right? You see a lot of celebrities who flaunt it. But this guy is down to earth, and how I knew it, he greeted even the liftman. He took pictures with my housekeeping staff. No other celebrity has ever done that in my clinic. And the knowledge that he had, he's like, Ryan, you need to read this book. Ryan, you need to read this book. I'm like, dude, no, this is a client that is keeping me on my toes, right?
Borderline intimidating that.
Yeah, so that's very intimidating because he's one of those old school who reads.
Right.
So his transformation, what he's gone through in his life, you've seen the pictures. And look at him today, he looks like a young, handsome hunk. And if you knew what he's gone through from a family point of view, you'd be like, nahi ho sakta hai. Not possible. So mental grit is very powerful inside of him. He's got that resolute discipline and stuff like that, and just a wonderful human being to work with. I don't have any unfavorite celebrities, except a few of them who I can't take names because then their PA will call me up.
Of course.
I always dealt with the PAs.
No, we don't want controversies at
so
all.
The PAs were like, sir ka diet plan based ho. Aaj sir ka weight kya hai? So I'm asking the PA all the questions. One part of nutrition counseling is that you have to have an interaction with the client.
Correct.
Because as I said, it's physiological, it's a diet plan, but it's psychological on my delivery.
Correct.
What I would like you to do. Why aren't you doing something?
Correct.
What were the difficulties you faced? Why were those difficulties not accounted for?
Correct.
So a difficult part of my job, and I think why I've been able to do it with ease, is I don't hold in awe any celebrity. I am doing my job just like you do.
Just as they are doing their jobs. Everybody's doing their job.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm like, dude, why weren't you able to do this chamomile tea at this time? It's like, you forgot, right? Yeah, I forgot. But there's housekeeping, right? There's a PA. It just has to be kept on the table. Yeah, it was kept over there, but I just forgot to pick up the glass and drink it. So, okay. Now, how do we work on you forgot to pick up the glass and drink it? Which is the last place before you go to bed? I go to brush my teeth. Okay, have the chamomile tea placed on your bathroom shelf.
They go down to that level, huh?
Can I have it before brushing my teeth or after brushing my teeth? I don't think chamomile will destroy your teeth, so you can have it afterwards. But if you feel the taste is bad with your toothpaste in your mouth, have it before and then brush your teeth. So we go to that level of counseling and stuff like that. So people think that nutrition counseling is only a diet plan, but I can tell you over the years it's 60% motivational banter.
That much, huh?
Yes. It's exactly like how you work with an athlete.
Yeah.
Like I remember when working with Robin Uthappa, he used to love to bake.
Yes.
And he used to love to make brownies. And I'm sure in National Cricket Academy, he would have brought brownies across for you guys and stuff like that.
Of course.
And what is one side effect of baking brownies? you
Eating them.
eat it.
Yeah.
Right? You have to taste them and all. So the most difficult thing was trying to figure out how to get him off that. And we ended up creating these whey protein brownies.
I remember you got me one of those also.
So we just changed the script in the recipe, and it's like
So there is creativity there, right? There is creativity in
yes, and you know
making
something. Some of
solutions.
the best chefs will make amazing nutritionists, and if a nutritionist loves to cook, they can find solutions to any problem that people have. The human race is eating too much currently, and that's why people like me have a job. So as long as you keep eating copious amounts, even if AI
will
comes
need
in,
me.
I will still have a job.
So long as you have a job, I will have a job.
Exactly.
We'll all have jobs.
Because if people are overweight, they're going to have some knee pain, hip pain.
Yeah, we don't want you to.
Yeah.
We don't want you to. We're not saying that.
But you and I are on a mission to get younger.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
80. If you're shooting today, it's exactly 84 days to my 50th birthday.
How? Oh, from.
So I'm just counting the number of days to my birthday.
Yeah, which is November, right?
Yes, in November. So basically, what's happening?
84 days. That's a
Yeah.
good amount of time.
Yeah. So I've been counting backwards from 200 days. So
You're already on it.
so I'm look when you're surrounded
Let's
by
set the context here.
the
Let's set the
the
context.
context over here is Ryan Fernando is the sports nutritionist, the celebrity nutritionist to all of these celebrities. In fact, my staff came and they said, "Sir, are you the celebrity or are you the celebrity nutritionist?" I'm like, hang on. I'm a nutritionist to the celebrities. So I put the adjective in front of it, celebrity nutritionist. I am not the celebrity. So what I thought is that, can I become the celebrity of my life?
Right.
Because I'm surrounded by all of these celebrities.
Right.
Celebrity nutritionist.
Yeah.
That I'm a nutritionist
Yeah.
to these celebrities.
Yeah.
Now, can I become the nutritionist to my celebrity status, which is age 50? So, look, I worked with everyone from Virat Kohli to Yuvraj Singh to Shikhar Dhawan, Robin Uthappa, Amir Khan, Fardeen Khan, Hrithik Roshan, Shahid Kapoor, Anupam Kher, Manoj Bajpayee. You give me the list, I have worked with them. Wonderful people. What's one thing connecting all of these people? They all believe that they control their own destiny.
Yes. Yes. True.
And they turn up for their gym workout, they turn up in their diet, they turn up in their sleep, they turn up for their families, they turn up for their staff. Because I do counseling, right? I ask the whole schedule of the day. Where you go, what you do, how do you eat, who's your strength and conditioning coach, who's your physio, who's your masseur, who's your coach, who's your mind coach. I got the whole thing. Who's your financial manager? Like, why do you want to know who's my financial manager? I'm like, I like to know how you make money, right? So because what happens is the moment I talk to the financial manager, they come for a diet plan. Okay, so business comes from everywhere. But coming back to this, the point is, I started tracking 200 days. So when I step on this body assessment scale in my clinic, it not only gives you a visceral fat and your body fat percentage for individual parts of your body, muscle percentage for individual parts, it also gives you body age.
Okay.
Ashish, you should get one of these weighing scales and keep it in your house.
I will straight
London.
away.
And every time your friends come over on a Saturday night,
Embarrass them.
sabka band baja do.
Exactly.
Make them stand on the
That I
weighing scale.
love.
They'll all think they're young dudes. Next thing you know, 64-year-old uncle. Then what happens? Bhai, usko kya karne ka hai? So 50% of your friends will start changing that 64 years of age. So when I stand on the weighing scale, my body age is reflecting at 35 years of age.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, you know what? You could get away with that.
Thank you. I think I am also. But here's the point, okay? At 35 years of age, Brian Johnson's talking about reversing aging. I get what he's trying to say. I get that he's doing all these diagnostic tests, stem cells, supplements, everything.
Correct.
I'm bringing parts of that into my life, and I can tell you one thing, it damn well works. Like, I'll give you an example. There's this molecule from strawberries. Now, I'm not going to give the name over here because then everyone's going to just publicly prescribe, and then some side effect comes. Ryan bhai ne bola isko khane ka hai.
Tu mere ko bhi leke dubega.
So there are molecules in strawberry that have anti-aging benefit.
Right.
Wherein they are seeing that the telomeres actually don't become shorter. In my study, right? But it's extracted from strawberries. So I can either eat strawberries, which I don't get organic strawberries in India very easily.
Correct.
But whenever strawberry season comes out, I'm eating my fruit as strawberries.
Correct.
Otherwise, I take a capsule of that.
Acha.
What enamored me on that was apparently this molecule helps reverse the graying of hair.
Reverse.
Thus, this far, I'm doing my own scientific experiment on myself. Been taking it for 2 months. I don't have a machine to count the gray hair on my hair. So I don't know if it's reversing. You see, what I'm
But
trying
you have no grey hair.
No, it's there. It's there. What I'm trying to communicate to people is people try and look for a scientific study, and then based on scientific study, look at the statistical analysis. Arey bhai, if you're a Tamilian in Telugu, in India itself, it is one population of different. In the Telugu community only, we'll have 15 other communities.
Correct.
So where is a scientific study applying from the West on longevity? Correct. So the best longevity, Ashish,
is you.
Count down 200 days from your birthday. Get on a nutrition plan. Get your genetics done. Everything to look at your risk elements.
Yeah.
Like I have a gene for long QT syndrome, higher risk. Immediately went and got all the tests and cards. I said, get lost in this genetic test is bagwas. The next statement says, come back next year and test again. So it's not bagwas, but it's opening up a forecasting thing for me to do. Now, because that is there, I asked him what could be the implications. He says, nothing much. You don't have any issues. I said, can I run? He said, yes, you can run. So guess what? When I'm running, I'm going and checking the protocol with my SNC, how it is best for a 50-year-old to run so that I don't damage my knees, such that it is 60, I'm still running. 60. Yeah, so when I'm running still at 60, I am not blown my knees and having to come to you for regenerative medicine rehabilitation.
Correct.
What I want to come to you is every year to do an assessment.
Correct.
How much have I deteriorated or how much have I improved?
Correct.
So trying to maintain that 33 or 35 years of age, which means when I'm really 50 years of age, I'm somewhere hopefully around 65. And I will start accelerating of aging at 60, 70. But we know now weight training. We know now diets rich in antioxidants. For example, I'm trying to get the sweet potato from Japan that has the purple pigment. But because I can't get that purple pigment, I am eating 3 times a week purple cabbage. Anthocyanins have an amazing action upon the youthfulness in your body. So does sweet potato because of the beta carotene. But Ryan, you could take a vitamin A supplement. I would say that look at the blueprint of your diet getting to Rolls-Royce level. Rather than going and buying a nitrous booster and putting it in your tuk-tuk.
Correct.
Take your tuk-tuk and don't put a nitrous booster. Overhaul it completely and make it a 4-wheeler. Make it run well. Then go and get the nitrous boost, which is your supplements.
Correct.
So people are doing all of these randomized supplements on their own prescription and all. They talk about, oh, creatine I heard is very good for the brain. Yes, creatine is very good for the brain. But if you're eating that refried oil from this, I mean, do you have these cafes using so much of ghee in it, right? We're eating excess calories, and research is showing that if you want to age better, you fly under the radar on calories. Dr. David Sinclair talked about calorie deficit.
Correct.
And resveratrol and certain molecules being used on the rat models where they live 30% more. If you look at that guy, he doesn't look a day over 40, right? Obviously, anti-aging therapies will come in from so many things, from infrared technologies to LED therapy on the skin. I go to my dermatologist, we do microneedling for collagen and stuff like that. These are elements that are there. I have, I think, 5 people training me. So I've got my strength and conditioning trainer, is Rohit. I've got my yoga instructor, who's a strength and conditioning expert, as well as a breath coach, Arjun. I've got you guys at yours. So every time I come, I do an assessment over there. I've got my karate sensei. And I've got my karate sensei's brother who comes and stretches me every morning because I'm too lazy to stretch. Why am I too lazy? Why am I too lazy to stretch? Because you've given me the whole thing to stretch. I look at that in the morning. Are you coffee paper? But Praveen sir is there in my house. Sir, come on, lift the leg, push it, and I'm like, ye to massage. stretching my. So I'm getting everything done, which is the maintenance of my body.
Correct.
Once the physical part is taken care of, I look at sleep. I am battling to get 7 to 8 hours sleep every day with myself. Like it's a non-negotiable. I did a podcast with Dr. Shane Criado, who is one of the foremost sleep doctors in the world. He was talking to me about stem cell release happen in sine wave sleep. Sine wave sleep happens in the first 3 hours of going to bed, preferably around 10 o'clock at night because of circadian rhythm. Preferably 4 hours before you're not, 3 hours before, 4 hours before you're not eating any meal.
Correct.
Because your liver saying, boss, kya stem cell, kya deep sleep, abhi to main kaam kar raha hai.
Correct.
The food has to clear. Liver has to say, boss, green signal,
Soja.
now deep sleep.
Correct.
So stem cell therapy happens in your own body when you have SWS sleep. So there's a study done in one of the Scandinavian countries on junk food and deep sleep. So everyone goes out and eats on the weekend. What they found out is the night you ate out, the SWS sleep was the minimum. And it continued for 2 more nights. Now, Ryan Fernando, as a sports nutritionist, didn't look at SWS sleep because it was the sleep study. I know that SWS sleep is related to stem cell release. That's why they call it your beauty sleep. Stem cells rejuvenate your beauty. I want to look younger. So if I want to look younger, I bloody well get into bed early.
Correct.
No, but I heard that so-and-so conglomerate or so-and-so billionaire sleeps only 4 hours and all. There are outliers.
Correct.
Ryan Fernando and Ashish Kaushik. I'm going to get you on this program. Let's get you reversing.
Let's do it.
Let's get you reversing your age.
Let's do it.
But the first thing you have to do is you have to commit to me to sleeping 8 hours a day.
I will. I sleep 8 hours.
Brilliant.
I sleep 8 hours every
Which is why when I'm looking at your skin right now, it looks young. It's glowing. So the fact of the matter is, if you were sleeping 4 or 5 hours, it would show.
Yeah.
You'd age faster.
Yeah.
So look at sleep. Look at nutrition. Look at exercise. Exercise, I'm not the boss. I get all of these experts. You are one of them.
Yeah.
You guys had discovered that my quadricep to hamstring ratio. And I was like,
massively off.
Massively off.
Yeah.
And so obviously then we've started working on that. And so much of stability in my life, no knee pain anymore. And that is what is aging, right? So one is a birth certificate or driving license number, 1975 born, but the other is to feel like a 25-year-old.
Being able to function as that. Yeah.
I feel and think like a 25-year-old. Except for my little toe sometimes give me a little bit of pain. I'm like, you better behave yourself. Okay, I am 25 years of age. So another level is how do you vibrate and live life? So that, I'm no guru, but I've recruited the help of a few life coaches, mind coaches, business coaches who kind of give you the ability to think younger minus the stress. Because when you're older, you put in the stress. When you're younger, you're more reckless, right?
Correct.
You take faster decisions. Correct. But when you're older, you're like, go slow.
There I've not aged at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There I'm still reckless decision making carries on.
Yeah. So that means you're young in the faculties.
In that decision making part of my brain.
Yeah. So that's another department. And another department that among us men, none of us talk about is the requirement of having a good bedroom performance. I get this in private counseling.
Right.
The men talk to me about it.
Right.
Because we men don't discuss.
Yes.
It doesn't
beneath
stand.
us. Yeah.
It doesn't stand. I've gone to the Olympics, which is my bedroom, and I didn't even qualify in the heats. If you get what I'm saying,
yeah.
Right? And so for a lot of people, if I've had no sleep, I've gone podcast after podcast, and I have to function. I'm like, dude, I can't turn up. I'm not prepared. So what do you do as a 50-year-old? Yeah, you want to be 35 years old, but you can't perform.
Correct.
So these are conversations that men at the age of 45, 50 don't have.
Correct.
By the way, the incidences of prostate cancer have gone through the roof. 4 of my father's brothers have been diagnosed with prostate issues.
Is that detection or is that genuine increase of incidence?
Detection. I believe it's detection. People earlier, look, prostate is responsible for your erections.
Yeah.
By the time you're 45, 50, if your sex life goes down and you're not ejaculating, There's a research paper that men should ejaculate at least about 22 times a month to keep the semen going so that your prostate is clean, which is why I tell all women, for your husband or your partner, frequent sex is important to protect them. And if you're not getting it, guys, masturbation is one of the best options. There's a study on this.
Right.
But men don't talk about this in their 40s and 50s. And then by chance they have frequency of urination difficulty and all, and they go to, well, doctor, I can't pee, and they're already at 64, 65, and they meet the doctor, and the doctor says, okay, take the prostate antigen test, and suddenly it's through the roof. Okay, do a scan, do an ultrasound scan, then you go and do a biopsy, and then you look at a urometer test and stuff like that. And then dude, all you have to do is eat a clean diet. And by the way, I would recommend to you to decrease your dairy if there is a higher risk of prostate cancer.
Decrease your dairy.
Dairy,
Okay.
milk products.
Yeah.
Because I feel men don't need to have that much amount of milk at all, or
Right.
dairy products. Of course, if you're a vegetarian, you need sources, and I'd plan that with people. If their prostate's antigen levels are very high, I tend to eliminate it. Now, all of this comes because we as a 200-member clinic, we keep discussing cases.
Yes.
So suddenly there's a urology specialist, prostate specialist in our clinic. So that discussion happened. We were like, oh, there was this paper. Did you read about it? Okay, so what can we do? You know what? Our next 10 prostate patients, well, let's not give them dairy. My uncle had a PSA of 40.
Oh.
Okay. In 3.5 months, we brought it down to normal. We just went hardcore on his diet and his supplements. So, I'm not saying proof is there in the pudding, but I'm just saying to people that we even do a genetic testing. In one of the gene testing, erectile dysfunction can be dealt as a higher risk element. Now imagine a man in his 40s. You get this test done and erectile dysfunction is higher. What are you thinking? You're thinking Kegel exercises. You're thinking Ryan Fernando said, have more sex. Okay, if I can't, I'm going to masturbate. So when the wife kind of bashes him up for looking at porn, he'll just show Ryan Fernando's video saying, see, Ryan saab ne bola 22 times milne ka hai. Okay, but jokes apart, it's important. Third thing, he's going to change his diet. Selenium is so important. Chromium is so important. Saw palmetto is one of the nutritional supplements that people can take. Please don't take this supplement just because I'm saying it on a podcast, but go meet your medical doctor, specifically your urologist. Do the prostate antigen test. Okay, if you have problems in erections or urination, this is where department you check a little bit early.
Correct.
We men tend to be very, I wouldn't say shy, but we don't discuss these problems. So these are things that need to be discussed, and that's one department I silently have observed in the last 2 decades,
Right.
where men talk to me about it. Very interestingly, I never shared this before, but most men between 45 and 55 are always having an affair.
Oh, that's quite a sweeping statement.
Why? Why? Because if you are not getting it at home, what are you going to do if you're sexually functioning? So food for thought. The Indian woman is moving through her menopause and she's marriageable at that age.
Right.
She's not doing hormone replacement therapy.
Right.
She's not taking care of her body.
Right.
She's not worried about how she's eating.
Right.
This is what the man is saying to me.
Right.
This is not what I'm saying in India. This is what the man's saying. My wife doesn't take care of herself. I married this woman. She's given me 3 children. But now I don't have any desire to be with her. Desire to be with her. Men are visual creatures. So we look at all, then I get these inputs and all. And then on the other hand, you have a man who doesn't have functionality. So he's very happy because his wife is in that status. She doesn't demand anything from him. So he's like, तो मतलब Olympic Games बंद हो गया, कुछ नहीं करने का. So we get both these schools at our clinic, and both of them require action. So the moment a guy says, my wife's not interested, get your wife on a nutrition plan. Get her to lose 20 kgs. Get her into a CrossFit program. Get her onto hormone replacement therapy. Has she met her gynecologist? Most women after the pregnancy have not met a gynecologist for 15 years.
Very true.
And recently I had a husband like me who did his wife's BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene test, the breast cancer gene, without her knowledge. Because His brother's wife expired from breast cancer.
Right.
And he saw how it shattered the family.
Mm.
The husband was not ready to lose his wife, and the children were not ready to not have a mother.
Mm.
And he says, if it's so detectable, why aren't women doing this test? Women are the most magnanimous creatures on the planet. They take care of everybody and them last.
Mm.
So I think it's a responsibility for the man to look at one, his functioning, growing younger, and taking care of his wife also as part of the regime. And by the way, wives are very conjuicy. They don't spend on exercise plans and diet plans.
Of themselves.
Of themselves. They will never.
Yeah.
You, literally, men, you have to like, I know I will buy Jabardasti, the diet plan, the exercise plan for my wife, and I'll be like, don't ask how much it costs. That's not your job. Then no, how much does it cost? It doesn't matter. Just go for the session. I think instead of gifting diamonds and gold and jewelry to your wife, get health of your wife checked. That's number one priority.
That's very well said. Yeah, absolutely. What do we do about our culture itself? What do we do about our culture of pani puri, samosa, chaat? We get around in the evening कि अरे आजा यार घर आजा चाय समोसे खाएंगे मौसम अच्छा है चाय से it's a very
I just saw this incident the other day. I went to pick up my son from boarding school.
Right.
It was the first week after they come home from boarding.
Right.
And his roomie was holding a batata vada. Right? So it starts first with the parents changing. Parents need to have awareness, which they don't have. Educated Indians don't have awareness. Once you get awareness that the batata vada is being fried in reused oil, you'll probably make that batata vada at home and only then eat it.
But batata vada cannot be healthy, right? Or a samosa cannot be healthy, or can it?
So it's like saying, how do you define food as healthy or not? Like for example, amla can be unhealthy when you take it in too much quantity. It'll cause you loose motion. True. When taken in little quantity, too little quantity, it might not even have an impact. So every food will fly under the radar or above the radar.
How many samosas can you have in a month to keep it under the radar?
To answer that question, I need to do your genetic test and a microbiome test to be logically and scientifically correct.
Okay.
So if you have a high triglyceride gene, high hypocholestemia gene, if your C-reactive protein is high, if your HSCRP is high, your liver scan in an annual health checkup showed grade 1 fatty liver, I'd allow you 2 samosas in the month, psychologically.
Even then?
Even then, psychologically.
Yeah.
Okay, by 2 samosas in the month, 30 meals, 30 days into 3 meals. 90 meals,
में से 2%.
2%. समझ गया?
Sort of, yeah.
2% साइकोलॉजी मिलेगा, बाकी का 98% मेरा डाइट प्लान फॉलो करो.
तो वो 2% का अलाउंस मैं दे सकता हूँ.
और जब वो बटाटा वड़ा खाएगा, उसके बाद में बोलेगा संतरा खाओ. Research has shown that when they did a McDonald's burger study, they found that the C-reactive protein went up. But when they followed it with oranges, the C-reactive protein spike was held low.
Wow.
So whenever I have a junk food, I make sure I eat 2 small oranges at home that evening. Then go for a walk to burn off the extra calories.
Correct.
The oranges take care of the inflammation markers in the body.
Correct.
So the changing of our society has to start with parents.
Correct.
Your generation, my generation, who have children. We have to inspire our kid.
Correct.
Ashish, I do karate at the age of 50 because, not that I like it, my son is very enamored because his papa does karate, whilst his friends' papas drink scotch and play pool and smoke sutta.
Correct.
Now they don't expect their child to do these things. Don't smoke, don't drink, don't do all the things. But you're doing it as a parent. So changing diet and changing health in India starts with us parents.
Yes, absolutely.
We can't ask our parents who are old. They're a previous generation.
Correct.
So anyone who's under the age of 50 changes the next generation. But I have huge belief in this Gen Z population. We tend to call them the laziest population, entitled
No,
population.
my daughter is so disciplined. It's unbelievable. I get embarrassed.
In UK, they're drinking less alcohol than any other generation.
Yeah.
So they're more aware.
Yeah, they're definitely more aware.
So this generation, when they have children, hopefully they choose to have children, because many of them don't want to have children. When they choose to have children, they will lead by example.
Yes,
So we're talking about another 2 more generations before the cycle of health
Change.
thinking will come in.
How bad is alcohol then?
Alcohol is really bad from a sleep perspective, from a acidity perspective.
Even a tipple, even a little bit?
I remember I came on a podcast about a year and a half ago, and I said that there will come a day where they will put surgeons warning alcohol consumption is injurious to your health. Just about 6 months ago, the Surgeon General US, Indian origin guy, has decided to put that on alcohol bottles. There will come an alcohol tax one day. And it will be like this dry states in Gujarat and other places in Bihar and all. You will get to a time where the alcohol consumption, I could be wrong, but we're recording this on a podcast, your doctor would have to prescribe you alcohol. Like psychologically, ke liye, 2 peg pini ka hai. But there's no physiological benefit.
At all.
It's psychological. Only my grandmother said if you had a cold, you take brandy. The only logic in that would be brandy sterilizes any bacteria in your throat. That would be the only lame logic. There's no scientific proof. So at the end of the day, I think it's like smoking, right? Do you remember when you and I studied in college? You and I went to a discotheque, that time they're not called clubs, they're called discotheques. We went to the discotheque, right?
Full of smoke.
Full of smoke.
Yeah.
Right? Today when I go clubbing, these guys are like, dude, man, you guys are so lucky. There's no smoke at the club at all.
No smoke,
Right?
There's so many people not drinking.
Could you and I imagine that in our time? Arey bhai, you had to have a cigarette in your hand to look cool. Yeah. So
Now cool is looking fit.
And that is the new luxury.
Yeah.
That is the new luxury. Ashish, the people that walk into the nutrition clinics, I'm telling you, they have 5 houses, 16 cars. They will say the same thing to me. The guy one day walked in, he's a billionaire. He's wearing a simple linen shirt and linen trousers, simple watch, and he was wearing like cock sandals, not even a Birkenstock. The guy is in excess of $1 billion. Okay? He said, Mr. Fernando, I've come to you because looking good is something my money can't buy.
Correct.
And for me, that is a challenge because I can buy anything.
Yes.
But I can't buy my health. I can't buy a 6-pack.
Correct.
So when we took his body age as a billionaire, he was about 44, his body age was 60. So he was shocked. He's like, dude, this is not good. I said, what's not good? He says, I'm a 64-year-old uncle. I thought I was 25 years old. Then we looked at all of his parameters. He was lucky, he had good genetics, so he's got good parameters. But he said, I don't like this visceral fat. I don't like this telling me that I look like a 60-year-old uncle. So he set up his entire regime. And in 6 months, we dropped a decade of body age. And you know what his comment to me was? You charge too little.
We've had that said to us as well.
And then you know what he said? If you had asked me for $100,000, knowing that I would get a 10-year drop, I'd pay it to you because, Mr. Fernando, I earn as a salary 15 crores a year, as a salary, not his business earnings. So if you made me 10 years younger, you just gave me 150 crores. You get the thinking.
Yeah.
So why do our athletes want to play longer? They want a new paycheck. Why do our actors and actresses want to act longer and look younger? They want a better paycheck. Why can't Aam Aadmi India think the same way? Because let me tell you something. If you're my age and you have to retire at 60, Air India just raised the age of retirement pilots to 68. Now all the pilots are 50 to 60. Arey yaar, 60 mein humko retire karne ka. Now suddenly all these 58 to 60 year olds,
Oh shit.
I can work for 8 more years.
Correct.
Air India saying, bhai, tu mota ho gaya. Tera tu gaya, jao. So they need to start at the age of 40.
Correct.
So that you have a longevity to earn another decade of earnings. And you do it then on your terms and conditions. Have you seen most people above the age of 50, they turn up and work at their own hours, but get paid the highest.
Correct.
So that is the way you want to live. So you're so healthy, you demand your paycheck, you demand how you write your hours, And those hours that are written to work is balanced out with your trainers, your masseur, your gym instructor, your Tai Chi instructor, having fun, going dancing in Ibiza with your wife. So India has not dreamt to that level as yet, is what I feel. The elites have done it, but the common man will say, but we don't have the time.
That's the biggest lie in the world, right?
And the internet statistics say that the average middle class Indian is spending 84 minutes a day on the internet.
Is that right?
Ashish, how much time do you need to work out per day? What is the minimum statistic?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, right? I started a business called 21minutefit.com. You
Yeah.
you just need 21
That's
minutes a day.
Yeah.
But I love going for 1 hour because every time I work out, I'm thinking, 10,000 rupiah, 10,000 rupiah, 10,000 rupiah, 10,000 rupiah, 10,000, 20,000, 20,000. My trainer's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, that's the only way it's going to motivate me because every rep is cash in the bank.
Correct.
The bank of health.
Correct.
Rakesh Jhunjhunwala went too early.
Yeah.
54,000 crores or something like that was his holdings. You ask his wife, you ask his family, would they want those holdings or would they want their father or their husband?
Around, yeah. Correct.
So you may have this perspective that's saying that I want to live life king size. Please do. But also understand the science that make you can live like an immortal king. And once you reach 70 or 80, which is 30 years from now, when I reach that 20 years from now, I believe regenerative medicine,
Yes, absolutely.
genetic
Absolutely.
CRISPR technology and all of that stuff, we are going to be able to rechange cartilage and 3D print organs.
Yes.
So they're going to say, Mr. Fernando, yeah, you have a body of a 55-year-old. We'll change your kidneys for you.
Yeah.
So I think you can't then at that age of 70 like, nah, it's like bariatric surgery. The doctor says manage your sugar and manage your hypertension before we can even put you under the knife. So they still have to come for a diet plan and take care of your health. So every medical procedure requires you to eat with a plan, exercise diligently, and sleep 8 to 10 hours a day. You have to do that. The world has become too lazy. They want to outsource everything. And the new age GLP drugs that have come out have been a game changer. In fact, I was reading an article on how wellness businesses are going to benefit from the weight loss drugs. Because once you get fitter, you're going to have to maintain that lifestyle, which means you join a gym, which means you have to eat healthy.
Correct.
So they are already finding out people who take the weight loss drugs. They are self-correcting themselves because after 1-2 months of binging, they're realizing it's affecting their bodies in so many ways of a side effect. But so many ways in a good way, they have lost weight, which reduces their statistical all-cause mortality down. So I was speaking to a doctor the other day and he says, look, if I know a guy has diabetes, he has hypertension, he's on 16 medicines, and he's morbidly obese at 40 kgs overweight, you think Ryan Fernando, you're going to work for him? Kanta, you'll work for him. But I put him on one of these weight loss drugs that have come out and I make him lose 30 kgs. What does he have? Hope. Then I
Seen the possibility of it, right?
and then I put him on to a psychologist. Change his thinking. Then put him on to you. Change his diet. And anyone who's taken weight loss drugs, they lose muscle also.
Of course.
They need your intervention. So this whole group of morbidly obese people have got a huge benefit coming out of this. These intermediary people who can do it by diet and exercise, what I call as the lazy thinkers, it's harmful for them. Because they're going to get onto that, lose weight, and go back. So they're going to go up, down,
Get into the cycle.
and hurt the organs in the human body. And the worst are my Bollywood B1ers. The ones who have 2 kgs of excess fat. I want to take this XYZ drug. Monjaro lene ka hai. Doctor ke paas jana. And doctor is telling me people are blackmailing them at gunpoint to give this weight loss drug. And he says when that lady can just walk 1 hour every day, she'll give him full bahana why she can't walk 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
The sun is out. I can go in at night. If I go at night, one car will hit me. The doctor says, put a treadmill in your house. No, my neighbors downstairs will complain about the treadmill. Go to the gym. And if I go to the gym, I have to dress up and then I feel like I'm doing like... So there are different types of people coming to you for nutrition plans, for diet plans, for exercise plans and all, the day it clicks in your own head that you have something to live for, or someone to live for, or some place to be, or some target goal, or that class reunion, or your niece's wedding, or that class reunion that you're meeting up for, that's the day the Aam Aadmi
That's
says,
when the penny drops.
I need to do this.
Yeah,
And I want it to be this. I don't want it to be that you clutch your heart and get a heart attack.
correct,
And then you have to lose weight.
correct.
That's the better thing, is have a lifestyle kind of goal.
Correct.
So one thing about nutrition is I can do an 18-hour counseling through the day and not fatigue. But the moment I stop, I decide to go into
Switch
shutdown.
off.
Shutdown
The
mode.
ability to switch off in itself, I feel, is a superpower.
Yeah. I learned
Switch-
this from the film stars.
Yeah.
Their ability to switch off.
Actually, you're right. Actually, you're right. Even sports people,
But they just
Huh.
switch off.
they switch off. I remember in the middle of IPL, I was treating this certain player. I was managing him for a certain injury, very complex. We were just about managing match to match. And then one match, he breaks down from another unrelated injury. And I am getting stressed out now. And I'm calling him. I said, dude, I said, that's okay. Acceptance, switch off, sleeps for 10 hours that night. Next day, we wake up, re-strategize, regroup, make a whole plan. Nothing at all. Like nothing happened.
They say the world's best top 10 tennis players, when they play a point and they're very successful, because the moment they lose the point, they've forgotten the point and moved on to the next
Yeah.
point to win.
It's compartmentalized.
But all the other players after that keep groveling in that one point that they
Yeah.
lost. And that's their downfall.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So true, right? Because you can get cocky about winning and you can get sore about losing.
And
They're
so the
both
ability,
equally,
the ability to switch off is actually a superpower.
it's a superpower.
The problem in today's world is the internet doesn't allow you to switch
Ah.
off. The
Overstimulated.
So the switch off you and I are talking about is literally what you and I in our time, we used to go to our parents and say, Mama, I'm bored. You're
Yeah.
good. Go look at the tree.
Ah.
I don't
Wait,
remember.
I
Go look at the tree.
Yeah. Acha, nahi, for us, to you couldn't complain about getting bored, right?
You remember 7 tiles? Lakori, we used to play.
Lagori, yeah.
How much fun that was,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But today's kids, video games.
They don't blink. They don't blink. So it's all the dryness of the eyes and all that because they're just staring constantly at something. And yet they cannot make eye contact.
That's so true.
So they're staring at the screen, but they can't look at another human.
You know, that's so true because I keep telling my son, look at me when you speak to me. Look at
They
me.
don't.
But he's improving, but it's like immediately goes away.
There's no, and for us, I mean, especially when I was overseas, not making eye contact was disrespectful. Yeah. That when you talk to me, look at me. I mean, I know we're culturally also slightly different in that you shouldn't be looking into the eyes of your elders or, the opposite gender and all that. But in the West, not looking at someone when you're talking to them, it's like not acknowledging them enough.
Speaking of looking into people's eyes, one aspect about nutrition is in my entire father and mother's family, they are now 78, 79. Neither of the two of them have cataract. But their siblings are all developing cataract or have undergone cataract operation, and both my mother and father are the eldest in both sides of the family.
Oh, okay.
Because 20 years ago, I read a paper in Goa Medical College talking about EGCG, epigallocatechin, is an antioxidant found in green tea. Mummy, daddy, you're going to drink green tea, no milk tea. ये कहाँ से आ गया यार? मैं बंदा तो आ गया. He thinks he's a big shot. I'm like, you follow this. So the first 10 years, they 50-50 did it. I kept hounding. Now they religiously drink green tea. This EGCG in green tea is the only antioxidant that can cross the eye barrier.
Oh,
And can protect the eyes.
true, huh? So that's what they've been on.
Yeah, so basically what happens is when people are talking about anti-aging and all, they're looking for quick pills, but actually these are small incremental changes on a day-to-day basis, which actually, if you ask me, start at the age of 18. Because
Hang
before,
on a second. So do you think that's also why it's so hard to get evidence on them? Because how long will a study last?
Exactly.
A month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 5 years study.
Exactly. So you look at the places of longevity, the blue zones,
Yeah.
right? So you have this whole segment of a population. Then you have the nurses study
Yes.
that came out,
Yes.
right? On the nurses that were studied and all. So the data that statistically comes out of there, I'm not saying it's flawed. But when I was a scientist many, many years ago in Scotland, I had a professor who said to me, look, you can research all you want, but be in the moment with your individual experiment. Keep those scientific experiments in the background of your head,
Yeah, correct.
but focus on your one experiment first.
Correct.
See the outcomes of that experiment and then come to a logical conclusion. So when you give your parents green tea, you're not asking, I saw a study on green tea with so-and-so population. It was only 19 people. For example, oolong tea has given the best fat burning results,
Okay.
but it's only 6 grams of fat. But for me, to say this to a client to get more fat burning, now what happens? They're drinking black tea more frequently, specifically oolong tea, because I told them about the fat burning. Now, because he's doing oolong tea for 10, 15 years, everything from cataract to fat burning to small things that could have happened because of the polyphenols in the tea and stuff like that, which are cardioprotective. We don't have direct data, but we have indirect association. So as a nutritionist, I'm always looking to find a story. And when people say, oh, but it's a rat study, right? So there was a study done on lactobacillus rhamnosus fed to mice and the desire to swim before the will to die.
Yeah.
They found out that when the sterile rats were fed lactobacillus rhamnosus, the desire to swim went up by another 32 minutes or whatever. Olympic athletes, everybody, lactobacillus rhamnosus. Kya ho jayega bhai? Good potty.
Correct.
And now, 20 years later, data is coming about. Yes, it helps in anxiety and depression also. So guess what? All Ryan Fernando's athletes are given a probiotic. Now, which one to take and which brand to take, that is up to your sports nutritionist to tell you which one to take.
Right.
So you have data like this from green tea, and rat studies and all that stuff. When people will be like always like, but there's not significant amount of proof and stuff like that. And I always tell my dietitians one thought process. If lactobacillus rhamnosus has been used in medical nutrition therapy in a hospital on 25 patients, and there are studies saying that it's clinically safe for a dosage period of 16 weeks, you give lactobacillus rhamnosus only for 8 weeks. And don't give that clinical dose of 100 billion colony forming units. You give only 20 billion.
You stay well within the...
You stay well. Then somebody will say, but then that could be a placebo. Oh, but nutrition is also placebo. But
what's wrong with placebo?
Yeah.
So long as there is a change.
So you and I are working on the vanity and the pain part. If I can give a rasgulla to Sushil Kumar and hopefully help him have a desire to push even harder the next day to then ultimately win a medal, knowing very full that the sugar in that may not be the best thing from a sports nutritionist point of view, may not be the best.
Correct.
You have to evaluate every case for its merit and every scientific study for its limitations.
Correct.
But don't be afraid to track data of your own client.
In fact, that's a must, right? It's a must because your own life is so beautifully said. It's that study at that moment in time, which is the most important study. And then you're constantly studying that. And you constantly look at the feedback.
Like you would associate with this very well. For the longest period of time, cold therapy was given for athletes.
Yeah.
And now some data coming out saying that cold therapy is actually not that beneficial immediately post a workout or whatever. I went and did cold plunge, minus weight training, day with weight training, day with karate. And I found out it works best for me personally the day I do karate.
Right.
And the day I do nothing, I get very deep sleep. So if I want to sleep better, I do cold plunge.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I'm watching the clinical parameters, blood chemistry parameters over 3 times a year blood testing. Look at my resting heart rate. That's a great indicator. Resting heart rate
Resting heart rate
great
is gold dust. gold dust.
Leading indicator. Your resting heart rate starts dropping down and down. You know something you're doing really good.
Correct.
You see all your athletes, like I remember Shikhar Dhawan had a resting heart rate of 39.
Yeah.
39, his heart would be dup, dup. Like yours heart and my heart is going dup, dup, dup. So resting heart rate is absolute gold standard. So we should look at things like this.
Yeah. Now these should become a standard now amongst our regular population. Resting heart rate, I think everybody should know. But like you get excited about the body fat, and of course, rightly so. Yeah, I am extremely excited about resting heart rate. I think resting heart rate variability as well as resting heart rate. I think gold dust in data.
In fact, all the exercise variables now are coming out of that. In fact, when I used the ring recently, I saw my heart rate variability was not that good. So because of that, I've started doing intermittent sprinting.
Correct.
So 30-second sprint and then 2.5 to 5
30 and a
minutes
half.
of walking.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, fine. So now I'm tracking that and tracking that number. So people ask me about the exercise variables. Is it good or bad? I think from an anti-aging point of view, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like I want to have the metrics to say what does a 35-year-old man have that as a guy in a 50-year-old body that I can't achieve. And if I have to achieve it, what are the protocols that I need to do and who are the people I need to go to achieve that protocol?
Right. No, I think I'm a big proponent of functional testing to be a part. So strength testing is one part of it. Balance testing is another part of it. Falls prevention is a huge area that the entire West is now obsessing over, because they know the neck of femur fractures and such fractures in the elderly can potentially be the end of life for them, or permanent kind of disability for the rest of their lives. And in addition to that, then you've got things like heart rate variability and all this data, I think should be now kind of standard for everybody. Like your aerobic testing, everybody should know what their Coopers is, and they just compare. There's a chart on Google where you do a Coopers and see what see how you fare on the population. Okay, plus or minus a few here and there. I'm from here, I'm from there. This is on Caucasians, etc., etc. Take all that into account, but you'll be there or thereabouts, right? At least something to match with, something to compare with. Yeah. Do you know your Coopers? Please do let me know in a week's time what your Coopers is.
Send me the protocol. I will get it done.
I will send you the protocol.
I've got one more thing now. It's like, oh, what's my Coopers? 83 days before my 50th birthday.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic for that. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's. So we mentioned it before, but I think let's do this. I'll be 50 in April next year. So I've got a solid 9 months.
So let's do this. Let's get your blood test done.
Done.
All the parameters, and we'll do it 3 times before your 50th birthday.
Done.
The second and third time, we'll evaluate the parameters that are deranged, if any.
Okay.
Then we'll do a functional medicine test.
Okay.
Which will be a blood pinprick test and a urine sample.
Okay.
Those will check the metabolite markers coming out of everything from amino acid synthesis to amino acid denaturation, fatty acids denaturation, which will all turn up in your urine. Basically, your Krebs cycle, your gluconeogenesis, glycolysis, all of those pathways are assessed. Then we'll do a microbiome test for gut health.
Okay.
Mainly to not determine whether you have a gut problem, but to figure out which foods are thumbs up or thumbs down for your gut microbiome. So I have a bacteria which is not powerful enough for uric acid breakdown.
Okay.
So I need to take that as a probiotic supplement. So the microbiome test has been able to guide me on that.
Right.
And then we do a genetic test,
right,
which is a once in a lifetime test.
Yeah.
Obviously, the nutrition and the fitness gene test is there. That's mandated by me. But then we get into all of the lifestyle diseases and even inherited diseases.
Right.
Like I have something known as von Willebrand disease, which is a platelet disorder.
Okay.
I also have the hemochromatosis gene. So very interesting. I'd like to share this story with you. I used to work for Nutrilite.
Okay.
And I used to get the multivitamin daily from them, and I used to have it free of cost.
Right.
He said, I would always feel fatigued, Ashish. Never knew why. Always fatigued.
Okay.
Lethargic, fatigue. I would drink coffee. And at the age of 25 to 30, you should not feel lethargic. Many years later, this was about when I was about 37, 38, I started co-nutrition clinics. So I was one of the first clinics ever to start genetic testing. We used to send a sample to the US.
Right.
And because I studied in Scotland and I did genetic testing in Scotland and all, I was exposed to that culture of Dolly the sheep and all.
Right.
So my professors were all geneticists and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, genetic testing, contact, got it done. So this VIP big shots and all, we used to get the sample and send it across. Saab. So the guy who ran it in US was also an Indian entrepreneur. So Saab, आपका genetic test भी करेगा, मैं मुफ्त में करेगा आपके लिए. So he didn't mind. So I came back gluten, lactose intolerant. I had a hemochromatosis gene. The hemochromatosis gene is a gene which causes your body to store more amount of iron.
Oh.
So guys like me inherited from my ancestors a gene that said if we went into battle, we wouldn't die easily from cuts and
Wouldn't
laceration.
bleed to death.
You wouldn't bleed to
As
death.
in-
But it's like you wouldn't lose that
Mhm.
much iron pool, you recover faster.
Correct.
The bleed to death is the thrombopoietin, some thrombo something gene is there. Okay, so royal disease gene, blood clotting genes is there. All of they analyze all of this. Okay,
Yeah. No, though they bleed to death.
they bleed to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the other part is people who survived the bubonic plague had the hemochromatosis gene also. And when I was taking iron supplement, my iron was at 180, my ferritin was at 400.
Oh.
The day I stopped taking iron for a year and I donated blood.
Oh.
Because as a male, I don't have menstruation. So my iron pool remains old. What happens to old iron? Rust, aging.
Wow.
So I donate blood. Now my problem is when I reach, I think 55, they stop taking blood. I need to find a doctor who will just take out my blood and throw it into the plants or into the drain.
I'll stab you, buddy.
Okay, okay. But there's another therapy that I found out.
Yeah.
Leeches.
Oh, yeah.
In the olden days, they did that.
Correct. Yeah, they did that.
Or you do the cupping therapy where they
Yeah.
kind of cut you and they bleed. But so I wouldn't know all of this if I didn't do the genetic test.
True.
So knowledge is power.
Knowledge is extreme.
But I also know that I have other stupid genes that I don't want to know about. Like my heart starts paying on the treadmill, like long cuties. Doctor said, nothing is wrong with you. I'll go back to him. Yeah, nothing is there. We can't find your calcium CD score is 0. This is there. But it's human nature to kind of worry. But I think that allows you to have this cocky syndrome in you, which is
I know what.
55, 55, no, 55, 35, 35. You keep doing the workouts. So the difficult part, Ashish, when you start the program with me is your kid is eating a chocobar. You're like, Papa also wants a bite.
My kids are so disciplined, man. I don't know where they
You're
get it from.
blessed. You're lucky.
They are so disciplined. Touch wood, I'm telling you. My daughter goes to the gym every day. My second one has joined her now.
So all you need to do is recruit these two girls of yours
actually.
and say, Papa has to be 50, has to be 30 years of age. You have to ban me from doing anything.
They'll be their happy project.
Yeah. So then what happens?
Done.
You're police.
Deal done.
So that's what we need to do.
Done.
Then once that happens, we start the process. What's your body fat percentage? What's your muscle percentage? We also look at your testosterone in the functional medicine test. So if testosterone is low, I start the first part of, weight training and look at zinc, look at arginine, look at the certain amino acids. We'll look at maybe white mushrooms, broccoli, which help naturally boost testosterone. We'll try that perspective. So I went from a 400 testosterone to a 700 testosterone just with natural. And then the moment I added certain other guys, which are herbs, I don't want to mention them because then again people will start dosing them indirectly and all this stuff. And you can have liver, kidney damage pre-existing.
Right.
But you can do this with a good sports nutritionist. Went up to 1,000. The problem with that is you start getting aggressive. Then you get kicked out of your house.
Yeah, that you don't want.
That you don't want. So you want a balance, okay? So
hover around 7, 8.
How many women at home?
I have 3 daughters and a wife.
Okay. So
I need to.
You need to balance your testosterone. So we can't do that. So let's check that out. Then you start your weight training program and you look at your body fat percentage. So the weighing scale drops your body age based on your visceral fat and your total subcutaneous fat. The lower that is, it says you're younger. So the main aim over here is to look at your visceral fat, and the number one exercise, this, for burning fat is walking.
Yeah. slow.
So then if you have an exercise variable tracking you, you know where your visceral fat is, you know your blood test, my diet comes in, and then we bring in your tracking. So then you do 5,000 steps, you look at your visceral fat for 2 months. Oh, nothing moved. So I've been walking 45 minutes every night for the last about 100 days or so. My wife's like, where have you got the discipline? Like, the visceral fat is not going down. I want to break that 35 mark, but it's not.
So what do you do next?
So then comes the part where you go into that film star kind of discipline. Like you just saw me step out of the studio and eat a coconut biscuit.
Correct.
Right? That is an absolute no-no. ओ गया अरे फर्नांडो साहब थोड़ा ग्लूकोज चाहिए बाकी का हाँ लिवर के पास जाएगा लिवर बोलेगा अरे भाई कुछ नहीं कर रहे थोड़ा विसरल फैट के पास पहुंच जाओ so that's what's happening. So the goal has to be more powerful than the want of the coconut biscuit.
Correct. What is a coconut biscuit doing in your office, by the way?
So I'm from Goa, and my auditor's wife is an amazing home baker and what do you call is an enthusiast baker. Her husband's also gluten intolerant, lactose intolerant. He's my auditor, so I got his test done. Like, oh yeah, I can't eat bread, go on bread. I'm like, Ari, welcome to the club. Okay, so his wife one day made him this coconut biscuit called a bulina. It's a traditional Goan Portuguese dish.
Okay.
And it's a coconut cookie basically. And it's made with maida. Now to make it with gluten-free flour means it has to be almond flour or some other good quality flour.
Correct.
So she's made these gluten-free cookies. So obviously when I'm feeling happy or sad or meeting Ashish, I want to eat a biscuit. And it's 5 o'clock in the evening, it's my tea time.
Correct.
And you know, when you have your chai, you either eat maska pav
Yeah,
or a biscuit or a khara biscuit. And that's how you and I have been brought up. I remember my dad would come home at 5 o'clock in the evening and bring something.
Yes.
We'd all gather around the table
Biscuits,
and we'd have some chai and a biscuit.
Correct.
That's the happiest moment of my day.
Correct. Absolutely.
So sometimes you can't take happiness out of a culture.
Of course.
So people come to my house and they'll see an aerated beverage in my fridge. They're like, Fernando साहब,
आपके फ्रिज में तो
आपके फ्रिज में ये खतरनाक वाला चीज. I'm like, but when I drink, I'll drink only 50 ml. मतलब
just the taste
के लिए. Now my goal is to lose that visceral fat. Then I have to do this.
Absolute discipline.
Absolute discipline.
करते हैं यार. I'm very excited about this. Let's do it. I'll sign up for it.
So let's get this started, and then
why don't we also share with the viewers, you know, our progress from there on? That's also motivating, right?
We could meet up every month and then discuss. In fact, I did this with Raj Shamani, one of the podcasters.
Right.
We worked on his body fat percentage and everything. I think between your goal and your life, you have to only ask this question: how badly do I want this goal?
Like
So,
everything else,
like all people say, I want to play for India. Everyone wants to play for India. I want a six-pack at 50. Everyone wants a six-pack. You need to define your goal in quantitative numbers. So, for example, if your body age today is 49 birth certificate wise, we measure what is your current metabolic age. Your goal should be not make it lower. Choose a target point. Like you told me my quadriceps to my hamstring ratio is off. Then you explain to me what is the correct goal.
Correct.
Should be balanced.
Correct.
1:1 or whatever.
Correct.
Similarly, I will tell you your visceral fat is X. I need it to be this much in 9 months because I know it drops about 1 point per quarter.
Right.
So Ashish ji, you can lose 3 visceral points or 4 visceral points. But if you're like a Virat Kohli, you can lose like 4 or 5 visceral fat points in a quarter.
Oh my God. Wow.
Because discipline, insane discipline.
Correct.
So it is possible. The other factors you need to consider, we are also growing older. The body doesn't respond that well when you're a 25-year-old.
Correct.
So that is the disappointment that sets in for people like you and me who are reaching 50 ki by itna mehnat
ke baad bhi yaar ye.
Today I'll just forget it. Yeah, forget Ryan Fernando. Tuck. Next week come back, you confess to Ryan Fernando. So that quantifiable goal has to be set by you.
Done. In fact, I remember, this age, with age, change with age, or how you respond to food. I remember watching something where I think jokingly Salman Khan was saying, पहले 10-15 रोटियां खा जाता था, अब रोटी सूंघ के भी मेरा वजन बढ़ जाता है. And I was like, that's interesting actually, because so many things we could handle so well as younger versions of ourselves, but we can't do that anymore.
And which is why the maintenance to maintaining the body towards aging is so important. It's like if you have a classic vehicle, the TLC required for that aged vehicle, you can't off-road it with it anymore like you off-roaded in the olden days. That's what Salman Khan did. He off-roaded.
Correct.
Today he drives it very gingerly, right?
Correct.
Because he's at that age. And the amount of investment of time,
Yes.
it's massive.
Done. This is a done deal, and we shall, proceed with.
Before you
The
leave,
lot of-
let's get your...
We'll do that now.
Yeah.
We'll do that now. I'm just gonna run through a few things which I think I personally am very excited about, and I know a lot of people out there will have these questions. So tell me kind of your version, which is a combination of science and experience on these. Gluten and lactose intolerance has not been around for so long, right? Is it possible? So, two questions. One, how come we were managing well when we didn't know about it? And second, are you always gluten and or lactose intolerant, or can it set in later in life?
First one, get tested. Life has changed where you can do the diagnostic testings for gluten and lactose intolerant. If you are intolerant, change your diet with your nutritionist. Did this always exist? It probably did, but we weren't aware about it. For example, people for centuries knew they did not digest milk, they just avoided it. And when they did, they got loose motions or bloating or gas. With regards to gluten intolerance or gluten sensitivity, I don't think there was as many incidences in the last 50 to 60 years as they are now, because genetic modification of the gluten crop with the higher grass yielding variety. So traditional gluten is very short. Kamut and kapli wheat is only about 6 inches tall.
Correct.
But today they go up to 6 feet. So the hybridization with certain types of grasses and the requirement of gluten to make bread, making much more tastier and having that, I don't know what you call that texture, but that stringy texture, elastic texture. That's what gluten does. Having tested
The binding
capacity, having written the book called Wheatless,
yes,
I would tell people this. I wrote the book because I, as a Goan, ate wheat and milk, drank milk all my life. I never assumed that my adult acne or my irritable bowel that I had going to the toilet 3-4 times a day quietly, clandestinely, nobody knowing about it, not even my parents, was linked to my gluten and lactose intolerance. And when I did the DNA test, I came to know about it. Why didn't this exist many years ago? Could be because we had a lot more fermented foods minus the fridge. The fermentation produced bifidobacter and lactobacillus species, which tend to break down lactase. They tend to break down lactose. So it offers itself as a alternative to lactase enzyme produced by your own gene. So lactose intolerant, you don't have the gene to produce lactase enzyme, but then the bacteria in society or your culture or fermentations and everything was very prominent, including milk that was not pasteurized. So you drink milk raw from the house. I'm talking about pre-1920s, 30s. So that time you got these species of bacteria which changed your gut. And the third point is why it's more prevalent today is because the standardization of food is only one type of food. You eat idli sambar every day in South India. Where is the variety? You come to work in this office, you will have the same types of fruits and vegetables. Ryan Fernando eats the same fruits and vegetables. There's no seasonal cyclicality. There's no seasonal cyclic nature because I can afford to buy that fruit.
Correct.
But
all year round.
Previously, I would not get the availability. There was no supermarket. Whatever was local, whatever was available, I ate it. So the cycle of that allowed my gut to reset, to reheal. Right.
So partly it's an outcome of our modern lifestyle.
It is a outcome of our modern lifestyle. It's an outcome of stress levels. It's an outcome of water not being at the natural level of springs and wells.
But it is what it is, and hence we have to deal with it.
And hence you should test.
Yeah.
And when you test, you have better knowledge that you have a more sensitive gene to such food allergies, and therefore you can make empirical choices saying
Yeah.
to you to take or
Better
not to take.
informed, yeah.
Like I can eat gluten, I just get a headache the next day. So do I choose to take a painkiller for my headache, or do I choose to avoid
It's a
bread?
choice, yeah.
And if I have sourdough bread and I take a gluten rescue enzyme tablet, no headache, but a pimple pops up. So now as a celebrity nutrition, do I have a pimple on my face? I don't think so. I'm fed up of all the pimples my entire life. So I'm like, I know the causative effect. And being an older man now, I'm like, not worth it.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely fair. Is it okay to be a vegan or a vegetarian? And are you still able to get enough protein and other nutrients out of that diet?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes to being a vegan, yes to being a vegetarian, yes to getting enough of protein. The no is the Aam Aadmi would not have the necessary planning capability to understand how much of calories from that vegan or vegetarian diet, how much of protein, and how much of B12 reduction that might be there, because B12 in today's world comes only from non-veg foods. And our gut microbiome, as I mentioned earlier, has changed a lot. So in the olden days, we produced most of the B complexes in our fermented foods and or our gut. So because of this dynamic shift, I think micronutrient deficiencies and maybe about a 20% deficiency in vegan diet on protein might be there, and therefore a supplementation of prescription by your doctor or your medical dietitian or your vegan dietitian should help you. So it's a possibility.
It is possible. Could you still rustle up on your own, in your own kitchen, a fully balanced vegan or vegetarian meal?
Yes, because what happens is I'm already allergic to milk and I'm allergic to gluten. So all I have to do is look at the pulses. I have to look at soya. And these are my main staples to get my protein source from. And then I look at all my vegetables for my carbohydrates and for my fiber. And then I put all of this together and rustle it up. And then if I look at it, my only dilemma will be is if I'm on a weight loss program and I need 30 grams of protein, let's say from rajma, then I'm eating that much amount of rajma whose calorie index goes up. So I want protein and then the calorie also goes up. So what I want to be doing is I want to be taking a nutritional supplement which gives me that much amount of protein, but the carbs and fat is more and the calorie content comes down. So that would be my only dilemma in my kitchen.
Understood. How much protein do we really need?
Every Indian requires 0.8 to 1 gram per kg body weight of protein. Studies are now showing as you grow older, that needs to be bumped up. What I genuinely believe is that no one size fits all. So I would take my father when he was 50 years of age, do weight training. So I'm consuming around 2 grams per kg body weight every day. Now, because I want to, at my 50th birthday, 80 days later, put on 2 more kgs of muscle. Guess what? Guess what? For almost 4 months I've been doing it, my body fat percentage is dropping. My muscle has not gone up more than 800 grams.
Interesting.
2 grams. So last month I switched it down to 1.5 grams. I'm still at maintaining at 800 grams of gain.
So you didn't need that extra.
Now you're getting what I'm trying to tell India. You don't take extra without assessing what is the outcome, because when you're taking extra, who's processing it? Liver and kidney.
Correct.
So if I do this for the next 5 years, who's getting fatigue? Liver and kidney.
Yeah, correct.
So there's no side effect. But there's a propagation ki by protein ka le.
Correct.
I am not saying don't eat protein. I'm saying eat protein.
But know how much.
Do your body fat assessment, do your muscle assessment, do your testosterone assessment. Start weight training. Put in the copious amounts of protein, 20 to 30 grams, post your workout. You don't need a protein supplement. You can eat a full protein meal. So when I finish my workout, I will have a massive piece of salmon which will give me 40 to 50 grams of protein. Or I'll have eggs. Or I'll have something or other which is red meat or whatever. But sir, red meat is not good. Arey boss, I checked my cholesterol, my LDL, HDL, C-reactive protein, sab to theek hai. I don't have a gut problem. Colonoscopy once every 3 years. So you kind of assess all of these things and then determine the load factor that you put in. It's like driving. The traditional time when we had the manual gears, You know when to press the clutch, half or full.
Correct.
Here today, everyone's saying, press full clutch, fourth gear straight away.
Yeah.
Boss, you have to go to first gear, second gear, evaluate the speed,
Correct.
the ratio.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
exactly the same thing for protein. So, unfortunately, the world's too enamored with protein right now.
Yeah.
The dairy industry is pushing
It's
it.
just the way. Yeah.
The dairy industry is pushing the protein. There's a story behind that, no?
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, that's all
Cheese.
the way.
You make cheese. You got whey. Cheese is paneer.
Whey का क्या करोगे?
You throw it in the drain. You threw it in the drain. The lakes were getting contaminated. The fish were dying because the whey was changing the biological oxygen demand of the water. So the sewage guys told you can't dump it in the thing. So what they started doing is they started putting it into landfills. But in the landfills, they realized that they got penalized there. So they started dehydrating it. Now they got this powder. Now they put this powder and they found out that it could be used as cattle feed. But when they fed it to the cows back again, or the goats again, the goats and cows got good muscle development. Could we do this on humans? So then they looked at milk formulas. Yeah, milk formulas, whey protein, blah, 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 biological value, protein digestibly corrected amino acid score, all the protein matrices in whey protein is through the roof. Perfect product. Okay, I endorse whey protein as a brilliant biological protein. Now, if you and I are running a business of cows with cheese and we have excess whey, what do we want to tell people? Eat more whey.
Correct.
So there is a propagation to put it. And obviously we've gone into this generation of show muscle,
Yeah.
not go muscle.
Correct. Correct.
Dikhane ka muscle. Instagram ka dikhane ka, right?
Correct. Correct.
So I think based on that, whey protein will give you that aesthetic bodybuilding in the fastest result. But Ashish ji, if you're allergic to dairy, like me, and you take a whey protein, next day your sinuses are clogged out with mucus. By the third day, splitting headache. By the first week, sinus infection. So you got to figure out thumbs up or thumbs down for whey protein. And parents keep messaging me, my 18-year-old son is training, he's taking 2 scoops of whey protein. Is that okay? Get a whey, which is biological, organic, no sweetener, no artificial flavors. Take your chocolate, take your flavor, take your banana, take your chiku, take your mango, mix it in a shake and have it. But before you start taking copious amounts of milk protein, do a simple food intolerance blood test. If you're allergic to the casein or the whey, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Perfect sense. Make perfect sense. Chai, coffee, kombucha, bubble tea. Where are you on drinks? What drink can I have next to my meal?
Water.
That's it.
Because the calorie content of all that you said, water is number 1. Number 2 would be black tea.
Black tea.
No sugar, no milk, or black coffee. The reason being is the moment you add sugar and milk, 2 cups of milk tea or milk coffee in a year is a 5.5 kg weight gain.
Wow.
I did that in a corporate call center and I showed them. They came back next quarter and said the tea coffee business plummeted and everyone switched to black tea, green tea. And I said, use stevia, 0 calorie.
You recommend stevia as the replacement for sugar?
If you have a sweet tooth, start reducing your sugar down, say in your 30s and 40s, and co-balance it with 1, 2, 3 drops of stevia.
Okay.
But I'd still go for water because when you do water, you don't need stevia.
Correct. True. Is there any role of sugar, any positive role, as in, is it really that bad, sugar?
When coming in from unprocessed foods, the sugar found in nature, which is in your grain, in your fruits, and your cereals, is absolutely beneficial.
That's the source of energy, right?
That's
what
a source of
crosses your
energy. And
blood-brain
no
barrier.
matter what the ultra marathoners and anyone tells you, Olympic nutrition, we have seen in studies after studies, carbohydrate is the primary fuel driver. The moment you take out carbohydrate in sports that requires mental acumen, this part shuts down because the brain is not getting glucose.
Correct.
And even if you have ketogenesis or ketosis, I feel the quick reaction sports, the ketogenic versus the carbohydrate diet guy will win any day on quickness of reflexes, decision-making ability. Now, if it's a sport like marathon running where you don't have to do anything except run, you don't need your brain. So you just you keep
Just
running.
run.
Right? But if it's taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, boxing and all of that stuff, cricket, for example, I've never seen a ketogenic guy ever.
I've never seen a happy cricketer if they're on those diets. Like they always
So
grumpy.
the brain.
Yeah.
So the problem in today's world, Ashish, is there's just too much of processed commercial sweets, beverages, tea, coffees, energy drinks, so many things. And when I mean energy drinks, I mean it has more than 10% sugar in it. If it's a sports drink, which is 6 to 8% isotonic sugar solution, I'd endorse that for an athlete.
Yeah.
Yes. You can't have a triathlete go for a Ironman without consuming 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrate during each hour of physical activity. Do that and he will boink in the third hour. Boom. Got it. The brain shuts down.
Correct. Okay, Ryan. One line answers to these few questions now. One food myth you'd ban forever.
Alcohol has health benefits. Bagwas.
Nothing at all.
There's no health benefit from alcohol.
Best snack for someone who's glued to the desk all day long.
Dry chana, baked moong dal, our traditional papads or kakras are okay. In my opinion, as a 50-year-old, apple. Easiest to carry, low calorie, sweet, hits enough of your brain to go for another 2 hours.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Keto versus intermittent fasting.
I would always go for intermittent fasting because it represents a balanced diet, and what you're holding back is a timing. So the human body will be able to work on timing versus the logistics of doing a ketogenic in our country. Very difficult. So you go into a straight jacket. Intermittent fasting wins every time.
Makes sense. Makes
But
sense.
I would do ketogenic if I wanted drastic fat loss on a morbidly obese cancer patient or diabetic patient.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Your ultimate cheat meal guilty pleasure.
So I travel a lot to Mumbai to shoot podcasts. The chef at the Leela Palace makes me a beautiful gluten-free pizza. And I will cheat with a aerated beverage.
Yeah. Which
I'm
one's-
human.
No, you're not.
I'm
You're
human.
a nutritionist.
No, so people expect me to not cheat and not do all of this stuff and things like that. But human nature.
Of course.
like,
That's
behind.
so yeah.
But of late, I can't eat in a restaurant anywhere because
That's
people
what
are
we're working towards. Oh, because people see.
people. I was at UBC the other day. Somebody saw me having a Coke and is like, "Sir, I'm going to take this and put it on Instagram." I'm like, "Please do, please do."
हमें तो ये बताता है खुद बैठ के कोक पी रहा है.
But again, the rest of my diet is boring. Actually,
Yeah.
it's very disciplined. It'll be that one cheat meal that I allow myself.
Yeah. Fair enough. On a long flight, and I know you told me about this in one of our conversations. You're on a long flight and there's no healthy food in sight. What's
Don't
your
eat.
plan? At all. Yeah, I mean, you said, right? You can go long hours.
You can go
without
long.
eating.
So ask for sparkling water. What you could do is fruit platters are always available, and dry fruits are always available.
Correct.
So you could have a handful of nuts, dry fruits, fruits, water, and try and sleep on a flight. So I always tell my clients, carry a melatonin, which is a nutritional supplement.
Acha.
Take one of that, which is very natural, knock yourself out on the flight. So you don't have time to think to eat.
Very good.
The problem in the flight is the moment they heat up that food, you smell it.
Ah,
And then you feel hungry.
yeah. Correct.
And you're watching a movie, right?
Correct.
So you want to eat. So the only option over there is be insanely disciplined before you go on your vacation or your flight. And then eat.
So this is a.
So eat on the flight. That's okay. And then when you get off the flight, I would always tell people is you're landing in a different time zone, go to that place, eat a good breakfast, and then go work out. Get tired. So by the time the evening time comes in, you're completely knackered and you realigned your cycle. I actually have a proper diet chart for biohacking your circadian rhythm when you move in time zone. Because in the Rio Olympics, I developed all the protocols for our Indian athletes going 18 hours. And unfortunately, in those days, we didn't pay enough to travel at least 3 weeks in advance to adjust the
time that it
at least
takes.
it's going 3 days prior. There's no way you're going to be in the middle because of that.
True. Late night junk craving.
Carrot sticks, cucumber sticks, ask your housekeeping to cut it and keep it in the fridge, and keep vinaigrette or balsamic vinegar and dip into it if you have a sour or a salty craving. If you have a sweet craving, then I would do a fruit, or I can't believe I'm saying this, but you could find a low calorie ice cream.
Oh, sounds
So
interesting.
it doesn't have all the high sugar in it. And you want to aim for a ice cream that will give you only about 80 calories. Because if you then went for a walk in the evening, late night, for about 45 minutes, you'd burn off any of that
Burn it
stuff
off.
that you're. Because I'm assuming late night snacking, you can't sleep.
Yeah.
So if you can't go walking,
You're watching a movie late at night.
then go dancing. That would be the best option.
Interesting.
Dancing without alcohol.
Dancing without alcohol, of course. Needless to say, which are the three? So you spoke about cinnamon already.
Yes.
Which are the three kind of spices out of our kitchens, all of in any Indian household, that you say, boss, these three to are amrit?
I recently made a 7 herbs solution called Imusat. Clove is one of the most powerful antioxidants, so make sure clove is there.
And you can use it regularly.
You can use it regularly. There is one of the most powerful herbs is called sumac, SUMAC.
Okay.
It's got a very tangy and a lovely flavor. So all my omelets, all my salads have liberal sprinkling of sumac powder on it.
Okay.
And the other spice that I would do is I'm torn between actually 3 guys: saffron, turmeric, and pepper.
Pepper.
Saffron
and turmeric, I was expecting.
Yeah.
Pepper's a
silent guy. He's like Ashish on the Indian cricket team. He's always there supporting, but isn't in the limelight. But if pepper is missing, none of those guys can play.
Yeah.
Because it helps in bioavailability and absorption of spices.
So pepper as in your red chili or the actual chilies? Or
No,
your
your black pepper.
black pepper.
Your black pepper.
Your crushed black
Obviously, your red chilies, which has got capsicum, is also a natural fat burner, anti-cancer properties. But every spice has its place. It's like trying to pick
pepper.
the Indian cricket team and you have a choice of 100 players, right? Which one do you choose? Like Virat Kohli would be a sumac and a Shikhar Dhawan would be like a clove. And if you had to choose between the two of them, you're like, no, I want both of them, right? And Pepper's like a Rishabh Pant. He's there in the team. He's an anchor. He's required for keeping the banter going in the team.
Very well said. Very well said. Fantastic. Ryan, we could go on forever. I know.
We go back a long way.
Yeah, we do. And this has been so enjoyable. For me, I'm sure, anybody who watches will be equally excited to know so much stuff. And there's so much stuff that you can implement straight away. There's so much stuff that you can bring into your lifestyle immediately. Again, really, really grateful for the time, the effort that you put into this show. We are on our, chasing that 50 as a 35-year-old.
So the logic is, what is my next 50 years going to look like?
Correct.
So the first 50 years, you've had an amazing rock star of a life, both you and I.
Yes.
What are the next 50 years going to be like, knowing the knowledge that you and I have, and how can we be inspirational to everyone out there?
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it.
But remember, we need the experts on board.
Yes, of course. Do it that way. Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to the entire conversation. If you've enjoyed it, please like it, subscribe, and share. In the comment section, let us know what you liked a lot, what you didn't like so much, which guests you would like to see on our show. Some of the stories that couldn't become a part of this podcast are there on my Instagram handle. Do check them out. Thank you. Have a great day.